where do taxi drivers go when they need to buy a taxi? Well, the Taxi Centre have supplied cars to the trade for over 20 years, and they stock a huge range of motors from the world's leading manufacturers: Skoda, Kia, Toyota, Mercedes, Nissan, Ford, Hyundai, you name it. They've got saloons, MPVs, estates, minibuses, prestige cars, the lot, all under one roof, ready for immediate collection or free delivery anywhere on the mainland UK. With taxi trade exclusive discounts, flexible finance options and no hidden fees. They even throw in registration and 12 months road tax. So if you're a taxi driver who needs a new or used taxi, where would you go? TheTaxiCentre.com. Trade only.
The Go Radio Football Show with TheTaxiCentre.com. Your exclusive taxi trade savings are waiting on you.
Let's go! Celtic have done the business at Fir Park this afternoon, a 4-goal victory against the Well, and Rangers coming up at 4 o'clock. It's unusual times today. Normally we've kind of got used to the 12:30 start, but the 1:30 start didn't do any harm to the league leaders. 4 points clear.
You know, for most of this season, when the two of them have been playing on a Sunday, Celtic have played second, and Rangers have normally won the game and put pressure on. It's a bit of role reversal now. Celtic's win today piles more pressure on Rangers at Ibrox.
Highlights for you, Davey. Lila Bada getting the goal in 28 minutes, a double from Rogic in 31 and 45 minutes, 3-0 at half time. It was done and dusted.
Done and dusted, much as it was the other night. Celtic's first half energy just too much for Motherwell, who started well, just couldn't live with Celtic though, couldn't live with the pace of play, and yeah, it was lights out by half time.
So what's happened though, because 8 days ago against Dundee United they struggled. It just wasn't happening for them, but they got the late goal, Davey. What's clicked?
I don't get it, Paul, because they were poor against Dundee United, made very few chances, had loads of the ball, but were more pedestrian. Ball went sideways too often. The Rangers game, they just looked a totally different proposition. Best I've seen from a Celtic side for years, that first 45 minutes, and they've continued where they left off today.
Slim margins, Craig, isn't it? But you know, it's 8 days ago we were saying, well, they got the late goal, Lila Bada, wasn't it? But that could have been 0-0. It's just such slim margins. But at the moment, listening, I can imagine Rangers fans saying, wait, it's all about Celtic at the moment. But you know,
because momentum's with Celtic. You know, they after the Dundee United match, they dictated the tempo, and the big moments against Rangers. They've done exactly the same. They've backed that up here against Motherwell, which, you know, some people may have felt as if it was going to be a tough match. In the end, it's quite a comfortable match for Celtic. They're able to have the likes of, you know, Rogic coming back in, who gets a couple of goals, which is great. Maeda coming back in from international duty. Yet they managed to play 90 minutes. Giacomakis got minutes, and Ange was able to take him off with one eye on Aberdeen. So it's a really, really comfortable day for them. Rangers have now got a question to be answered, Davey, in terms of you're talking about the later game. They know exactly what's happened earlier on. They've got to find a way to bounce back, because that's what their supporters, you know, the Rangers supporters will be desperate to at least get that after the back of a really disappointing performance and result on Wednesday night.
Celtic have played 25 games now, so they've only got 13 to go. 13. You were reminding us earlier
lucky
on.
For some.
60 points. Goal difference for Celtic plus 41. Rangers with this one game this afternoon, obviously in hand, but they're plus 27. Craig, is that something?
Rangers are not going to win the title on goal difference.
You'd say that now?
Yeah. Rangers.
What if Morelos comes back and starts to score? Aaron Ramsey contributing.
Rangers are not going to win the league on goal difference. No, you can't persuade me.
Joe Aribo.
I'll just take 3 points today and look to build one game at a time, and I think that's the way that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will be thinking of things. You know, go and bounce back, go and get the 3 points today, get that confidence back, and look to build. There's two more big games in terms of the derbies to come between now and the end of the season, and as we know, there's going to be other results where there's going to be a few twists and turns, other games where you expected to pick up 3 points where you don't.
The next one's not that far away, the next Rangers Celtic game at Ibrox. It comes because it was such a long time since they played back in early September, wasn't it? Davey, goal difference, do you think it might come down to the goals?
I don't think so. I think Celtic will get away from Rangers now. I think all the momentum's with Celtic. I can see Celtic having the title won with a bit to spare this season. And if you'd said I'd be sitting here saying that back in September even, I would have laughed at you. But the transformation has been remarkable.
Craig, are you running up a white flag?
No, never, ever. Look, I still believe that Rangers can win the title. At the same time, do I see there is momentum with Celtic? Again, I'm not seeing what anybody else isn't seeing. Yes, the momentum is with Celtic at this moment in time, and Rangers really need to dig deep, Dave. They need to really find some character to show that they're good enough to back it up and regain or retain the title.
Yeah, the next game at Ibrox is 3rd of April. So it's not that far away, is it? Just 8 weeks or so until the next derby.
And like I said, there will be some points. There's a few twists and turns. You talk Celtic now, 13 games left. Rangers still to play today. Then there will be 13 games left. There's still some twists and turns. But at the moment, clearly, momentum, confidence is sitting with Celtic.
Well, the Celtic fans can enjoy the rest of the day. They're just seeing the highlights there on Sky, listening here on the Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Leila Bada's goal. They didn't start as well as they did the other night, Davey, did they? It took a little bit of time
a little bit of a slow burn today. Much of that, I think, was down to Motherwell being in Celtic's faces from the word go. But, Celtic just, they're relentless just now. They just keep coming at you. And eventually, Motherwell couldn't live with the pace that Celtic played at. And, it's another good day for the goal difference, as you're mentioning. 14 of a difference already.
Look at the possession there, but I know it's not about possession, it is about the goals. But 70%, Craig, to the visitors, 30%.
And that's been, you're looking at 70% of Celtic. That's been pretty consistent in terms of the games that they're playing. That's the type of possession percentages that they get. And
they're not losing goals either, Craig. They're not another
goals.
Clean sheet today. It's clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet.
See, the thing is as well, Davey, when you're that dominant and you're playing in the other team's half, obviously you're not defending as much, but you're right. Therefore, you still need to be focused, you still need to be switched on, but they're not conceding goals. You're right. Today, three goal scorers, but how many more could have scored? So, you talk about your options, and there's plenty of them at the moment.
That's a great point. They've only lost 13 goals. They've scored 53. Rangers have lost 21 goals, and we all know it was only 13 goals in the whole of the season.
Yeah.
And 6 goals in a week because of the Ross County. And that was a bad one, wasn't it? That late at Dingwall. Anyway, that's it's all history now. Celtic have done it today. It's now Rangers' opportunity at 4 this afternoon. And Craig, you think Rangers will win this afternoon against Hearts? Yeah,
against Hearts, and I believe it'll be hard for because Hearts are. Look, I mean, what Robbie Nielsen, the job that he's done since coming up from the Championship. Has been an incredible job. They're in third. They've been strong. They've performed well against Rangers and Celtic. But I do expect Rangers just to have a little bit too much. But it's up to them to prove that today.
Davey, is that the man of the match for you, Tom Rogic?
I think so, yeah. Just the craft and the class that he demonstrated for both his goals. Could have had a hat-trick, had 2 or 3 other chances, but he's just got... He's got the vision that very few players have got. He sees the whole pitch. He sees movement ahead of him. And he, arguably, I think, playing the best football of his Celtic career right now.
You're just looking at some of the highlights there, so your fellow countryman. Do you know him quite well, Greg? Your paths didn't cross, did they?
No, we worked briefly together in terms of his involvement with the national team. He was unfortunate to miss out in the 2014 World Cup due to injury. But I mean, I speak with Tommy, but I've not been in his company for a long, long time. His form,
what a strike, wasn't it?
His form, his goals, his assists, it's all come together this season.
Mm-hmm. Actually, people have been on the socials here saying Liam has been on. Saying, he was always bit part player, albeit the Celtic fans loved him, and I think it was that goal against Aberdeen. But it is incredible because you thought he was only 26 then at that point, 26, 27, because he'd been there such a long time. But my goodness, it's worked for him now.
Yeah, but even a lot of Celtic supporters, I mean, I've been back now 18 months, right? And even in that period of time, there was been a lot of doubts, or not doubts, but a lot of Celtic supporters saying, he can't play 90 minutes, or he's not been good enough, or he's just... For me, what he's doing now does not surprise me. The quality has always been there. He's knocking out 90 minutes after 90 minutes, goals, assists. He's confident. And what a difference it is, Davey, as a player, when you have that confidence and belief and you get in the back end of the manager and the supporters right behind you.
Well, your manager, the Rangers manager, your former colleague, I saw a great goal that you were involved in with him just the other week. It was in the social media.
Oh, was it?
It was his cross and it was your goal.
I was at a header.
Yes, it was the header. It was the header.
Certainly not with a feet, a header.
It was magnificent. So obviously, ahead of the game today, we haven't spoken to him today, but we spoke to him. It's Friday, and he was talking about the defensive issues that were obvious in Dingwall, and they were obviously obvious at Celtic
I
Park.
think the back four, the games we played since I came here, they were very, very stable, very determined, and we didn't give a lot of goals against us, so that was really good. But you see the last two games we give too many easy goals away, and it hasn't been the way like that. Yeah, we have to improve in that. If you see also the goals we conceded against Ross County, especially the first two, Celtic again, the second and third goal, that's too easy to give those goals away like that.
Davey, he's not hiding from it. He's spelling it out. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will have serious concerns ahead of this game today, Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Transfer window's shut. He's got no more options there. He's got to hope that Ramsey is a game changer, but I worry about the lack of football that Aaron Ramsey's played. I think Diallo, who looked to start at Ross County, the game passed him by the other night, which is another concern, I think.
He looked a kid.
He did.
He looked a kid the other night.
He did. And Barisic, obviously, I mean, I think you've got to question whether he's got a future at all at Ibrox under Giovanni. And this is huge today for Rangers. I think they had lack of courage at Celtic Park, lack of courage, and they're going to need courage today, because the Rangers crowd will get on their case if they don't get an early goal, and that's when they're going to have to find a bit of courage. Go looking for the ball.
Good word, because courage is exactly, you're right, what will be needed, especially if it's a competitive start and they don't get that early goal. The Rangers supporters will want to see him get the ball forward. They'll want to see that early goal. So you need big characters in there, and that's probably one question that people have thrown at this Rangers side in terms of big characters. Who are they? Who's going to stand up in the tough times? They've got to answer those questions, and they've got to do it today.
On the bench, they've got McLaughlin, the goalkeeper. Barisic dropped to the bench. Steve Davis, we haven't seen him for a while. And obviously he's been injured, but he's back on the bench, has been for a couple of games. Aaron Ramsey, we've talked about. Glenn Kamara, it's not often you see him being dropped. James Sands, Ahmad, Diallo, who started so well 7-8 days ago, but it didn't happen for him midweek, as you mentioned. Kemar Roof, again, he got another chance, but it didn't happen. And Fashion Sakala on the bench, as you would expect, but who did show something when he came on.
Unlucky to be on the bench, because he did, you're right, he definitely showed something when he come on. He was man of the match against Livingston. So he certainly can find, he's consider himself a little bit unlucky. Look, it'd just be interesting. The ones that have got that starting 11 jersey today really need to go and make a difference, Paul. And they need to do that from the first moment. You look at the bench, okay, that comes later on. Ramsey hopefully will give the lift at the right time of the match, but they've got to go and get those goals.
Absolutely. The starting lineup: McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson and Balogun back together from the start, and Bassey, Jack, Lundstrom, Aribo and Arfield, Kent and Morelos. I was just thinking there about getting some smiles in the team as well. And look, you say there's not going to be any smiles if you lose 3-0 to your oldest rivals.
Definitely
but
not.
do you know what I mean? That you see some of the Japanese boys at Celtic and they are smiling. Now, you could say, yeah, that's okay when they're winning, but there's something different there. And Rangers need to find out who are the winners are going to come in and say, hey, we're Rangers, we're the champions. Look at the budget we're on. I know you don't say that in the dressing room, but come on, let's do this team coming through from the east.
Well, I've got four players. I mean, you look at McGregor.
Yeah.
We know that McGregor's got that in his locker. Ryan Jack, for me as well. He's coming back in. I think that he can deliver that. Arfield, for me, is whether he wins or loses, he leaves it out there. He gives it his all, and he does that all the time, which is fantastic. And then you got Morelos, who all of a sudden has looked as if he's enjoyed himself. And you talk about smiles, he smiles when he scores goals.
I want to ask you more about that in a second.
The Go Radio Football Show with thetaxicentre.com. Your exclusive taxi trade savings are waiting on you.
Let's go!
Sunday afternoon, and both halves of the Old Firm in action. Celtic, a winning start to the day for them, 4-0 against Motherwell at Fir Park, puts them 4 points clear at the top of the table. And the defending champions Rangers looking to make it 2 titles in a row, but they're up against at the moment for the first time really in the last few days. They're chasing Celtic, and also in the last couple of weeks, the way the kickoffs have happened, then Celtic get the chance to extend their challenge and now their lead. A few moments ago, Ange Postecoglou was asked about that. Would that make any difference? But I think I'm right in saying, Davy, he said, "Well, I can't control what Rangers do. You know, we're top of the. We're focused on what Celtic can do."
Yeah, but it was a good question. Mark Benstead basically asking him if you know the psychology has changed. They've been playing catch up with Rangers. And, you know, was he concerned that, or not concerned, but how did he think his team would react now they were in front? Different leading from the front. But, you know, he stonewalled it again. He's very good at stonewalling questions, Ange Postecoglou. He answers the question he wants to answer, not necessarily the one he's been asked. But, you know, in the position he's in at the moment, he's riding high, and he's my goodness, he's answered every question that was asked of him from the beginning of the season.
Chris Boyd on this afternoon on the telly with Ailey Barber and Alex, I almost said Alex Ray.
Neil.
Alex Neil, of course, the former Preston North End, Norwich City, and the glorious Hamilton Accies manager. But Chris Boyd's looking a little bit quieter. We know there was the controversy. It came in during the programme the other night. Celtic, I think, in fact, I'll get the words here. We're looking into his comments. I know it was all over the papers yesterday as well. It was his comments in his column in the paper on Saturday about a lack of challenge on Callum McGregor and on the mask that he was wearing. And a lot of Celtic fans didn't like it. I did speak to some yesterday who said, well, you know, what he said was fair enough. And Barry said, look, I don't for a minute think he meant that anyone should go out to do damage to Callum McGregor, who had 2 broken bones and a cheekbone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Chris Boyd has expanded. Listen, he had to expand on the comments and has since said that he in no way was wishing that somebody smashed Callum McGregor on his injury. And you've got to accept that.
Tough, isn't it? I mean, when you're out there, when you're putting it out there, and he does love to wind the Celtic fans up. We know that as well. And I'm
so you've got to take it every now and then in terms of if you're going to give, you got to take it. And look, I mean, you know, there's no secret that when Rangers, you know, get the result, Boyd he's full of the smiles, isn't he? You know, but I mean, I have no issue with that. I mean, he's come out and retracted or kind of explained a little bit more, Dave, as you said on the comments. And look, I don't think there was any malice in those comments at all. You're going back to again what football was like back in the day and all that sort of stuff, and they were kind of comments that were thrown about. Just in today's society, you can't really go. You can't say that. Yeah. So that's why he's had to come out and I think explain a little bit more.
Celtic said we can confirm that the matter is currently being addressed by the club, and then we went into something about freedom of speech. For goodness sake, let's have freedom of speech, respect for everybody. But I mean, there's a bit of a wind up there. He has clarified it himself. The reason I mention it is that there's far too many people talking about bans with some calls and ban him from Celtic Park and all that. That's the last thing we need.
We've got enough people banned as it is.
Cancel culture.
I mean, it's an absolute nonsense. It's censorship, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We want to hear people's opinions.
I might not agree with you, Davey, but I respect over the years. You and I have had some. You know, obviously, I don't agree with. I agree with a lot of what you say, but not everything. But it's not about that. You express it. You've got knowledge. You've got an opinion. Even people who don't have the knowledge, they are allowed in a democracy.
Absolutely.
And be careful what we wish for. We're not club TV or radio. We're, independent.
And the game needs characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The game needs characters, on and off the field.
Yeah. And he can take a bit back, which he gets. We get that. But, let's not start banning people. Right, just before the break, Craig Moore, we were going through, and I was saying who are the leaders for Rangers now? Because they're, okay, when we said this 2 hours ago, they were 1 point behind. They're 4 points behind Celtic, but still, it's 4 points. So who are the people you look to for Rangers this afternoon?
Well, again, the 4 that I went to from the starting 11 were McGregor, were Ryan Jack, were Scotty Arfield and Alfredo Morelos.
So you missed out the captain.
I did miss out the captain. And that's not because I think the captain is not a leader, is not a good footballer, indeed is not a good captain, but I'm talking about people that I think that can deliver something different in terms of verbally, in terms of, maybe sort of like grabbing somebody by the scruff of the neck and demanding a little bit more. That's just...
If he wasn't playing, and I mean he is, James Tavernier, who would be your captain? And take out Connor Goldson because he's kind of deputy captain. Say the two of them were out today, and it was, who would you go for as the Rangers captain?
I think a lot of people would go for McGregor. right?
But you don't like.
I don't like goalkeepers as captains because I like to have somebody that's
Yeah.
out there. So for me, I would have Ryan Jack.
Ryan Jack, yeah. But are we saying that? I mean, I think we're all saying, oh, it's great to see him back. And it is great to see him back. Is it a little bit because we're all Scottish? I'm giving you adopted Scottish. And we all go, oh, he's a Scot and he's back. And
I'll tell you why I'm excited that Ryan Jack's back. I mean, I still think because he's been out for a long time that consistency is hard. But for me, he's the only player of this type in the Rangers team. He screens a back four. He does the ugly job well. Yeah, he's a ball winner. He gets you playing, and he'll score the odd goal. So that's my reasons. You know, I look at the likes of Davis, different type of player. Kamara, different type of player. Ryan Jack is unique in that squad.
Davey, I know you admire him as well. I mean, we all do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's equally important that Rangers match winners, Morelos, Kent, Aribo, they're the guys that Rangers will have to depend on in what remains of this season. Ryan Jack, with all due respect, is not a game changer. He is a steady, good, holding midfield player. But the guys who Rangers need everything from are the real talents. Aribo, Kent, Morelos. We keep going back to this, but I keep going back to the same three players, and particularly Morelos, who I think owes Rangers. I think Steven Gerrard gave him so much slack, and I think he abused that slack on occasions. And in what is left of this title race, McGregor owes Rangers a good run-in. Morelos owes Rangers a good run-in.
But David, my only thing is, right, and talking about a Ryan Jack and all that, I mean, the players that you mentioned, I certainly don't disagree. They're all attacking players. If you don't have an engine room working properly in terms of your midfield, you're not even getting the ball with any kind of control to create any kind of moments for those players to make an impact. So that's why I say that midfield.
But is Ryan Jack any different? Is Ryan Jack any different from Lundstrom? Is he any different? I just see the same type of player there as Lundstrom.
He's a different type of player because Lundstrom for me is not a 6, which Ryan Jack I talk about purely screening the back four. Lundstrom is more a box to box kind of player, more of a runner, whereas Ryan Jack doesn't. He just sits and sweeps in front of your back four.
Davey?
No, I mean, I think Lundstrom was playing in that holding position. And by the way, I think Lundstrom was playing the best football of his Rangers career before Steven Gerrard bombed him.
And why did he bomb him?
I have no idea. It may be that John Lundstrom was maybe working his ticket. I don't think it'd have been short options down south.
And there was talk of that
There was talk
window
of John Lundstrom going, and he's back in the team today. But I mean, if Rangers could have got money for him in the last window, I'm surprised they didn't take it because they're not short at midfield players.
And he's their highest earner out with Aaron Ramsey.
They got about 9
they got him for nothing.
midfielders. They got about 9 midfielders.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and is that overkill? Do you need as many as that? I understand you have like 2 for each position, being competitive. 9 midfielders.
So Davey has said, actually, for months that don't rule out Celtic. In fact, no, forget that. He was talking about Steven Gerrard, and I saw in your column before it went, a mistake by the paper, but said Steven Gerrard, maybe he's got out of town in time, and most people are thinking, really? But actually, the way things are, so what happened? Do you think the Lundstrom signing, because they got him for nothing, so he, I would imagine, got higher wages, he's the highest paid player, does that affect the other players who think, wait a minute, we won this title and you've got somebody in and more, or is that
I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, signings come in every season normally, and nobody's guessing about how much they're earning. Oh, hang on, I haven't been rewarded or whatever. It's just progression of a football club. Like I said earlier on in the show, I think the issue this season is that there's so many question marks over so many players within the Rangers team in terms of their futures, and I think that can also hold you back.
That's the point I made in midweek, Craig. The dressing room is not stable. There are too many players who don't know where they're going to be next season.
Every window that's passing, like you talk on Aribo, is he going to stay? Kamara, Morelos, Kent. That speculation should not be every window.
Morelos, 212 appearances and 107 goals, I think.
Not bad,
it's phenomenal.
It's
and
incredible.
It is time now, isn't it, Craig? If you were in, as Davey said, if he really comes alight for Rangers, if he can score a couple of goals this afternoon against Hearts, stop talking about wanting to be elsewhere. And I know recently he said, "Oh yeah, this is where I want to be," but he really needs to deliver.
Yeah, and at times I've probably been his harshest critic
Yeah, I know.
in terms of knowing that he can do so much better. But what I will say is under Giovanni, he has looked a different player. He has seemed to look as if he's enjoying his game a lot more. Obviously, that's coming on the back of goals. But I think he's got a massive role to play between now and the end of the season for Rangers. I really do.
Davey, what do you like about him at his best?
There's hardly a weakness. He scores all types of goals. He's good in the air, so he scores a share of headers. You'd say predominantly right-footed, but pretty decent with his left as well. And centre-backs never get it easy against him because he's aggressive, he's strong. He can come short for the ball, he can go long. Listen, I'm not saying he would, if he was available tomorrow, he'd get a top club in England, but he would certainly get a lower Premier League club in England, lower top flight club in England. And it'll be very interesting. If Rangers don't win this league, the names I've just mentioned, Aribo, Kent, Morelos, they could all be out of the club because Rangers will need to get money from somewhere. Rangers have thrown the kitchen sink at winning this title. The directors were terrific in their backing of Steven Gerrard. They threw money at it. They're still throwing money at it on the basis that the prize money is an automatic place in the group stages of the Champions League. And Rangers really can't afford not to win the league this year. No.
And the only money that came in was Nathan Patterson.
Yeah. And that won't all come in.
No, of course
in
not.
One lot.
But it's the thick end of 10 million initially, isn't it?
Yeah,
10 million. And then with the add-ons could go up to 16 million.
Good return for a player that hadn't had that many starts
Yep.
as a first-team player. And, for many years, people haven't liked the fact that Rangers and Celtic are indeed looking at being selling type of clubs because that's a business model. It's not being disrespectful to the two clubs who are massive globally. It just the reality is you do well at Rangers and Celtic, you're going to end up going down south for a lot more money, Davey. Yeah, that's what happens. Even as a manager.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the top half clubs in the Premier League in England are selling clubs. Leicester sold Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
Most clubs are selling clubs, and certainly the Old Firm, the model should be identify young talent, get 2 or 3 years out of them, sell them on for a good profit. But that is the model. I think Graham Robertson, the Rangers director, said that was the model that they're looking at. They want to evolve into a club who identify talent, bring it in, and sell it for a profit.
Has to be the model for Stuart Robertson and the team there at Rangers. And Davey's absolutely right. They've really backed Steven Gerrard, didn't they? You assume that with the new manager GVB, it's been the same. But that 40 million, they were really confident of winning it this season, and they were because Celtic still had. I mean, even just a couple of weeks ago, you said that AP hits the bar, and that is his track record. But Celtic fans,
season.
and that would have been great for Celtic. Well, not great. Celtic fans would have bought that a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
but now they're thinking.
You look at the start of the season, right? The start of the season for a ball's kicked, everyone's like, by the way, Rangers, they're going to go on with the league this season. And I think majority of Celtic supporters would also like that. But you know what? We want to see improvement. I don't think they could believe how quickly the improvement has happened at the football club. They've already got one trophy under their belt. And now they're in a winning position for the title. So now the questions are going the other way now in terms of, what answers do Rangers have? Recruitment, all these kind of things. There's a lot of questions being asked of Rangers now.
Who are the voices alongside GVB in the dressing room then? So, because you were mentioning about Scott's coming in alongside him, but that's got the pancake in the face. Nobody's really taking you up on that at the club, are they? Or
nobody has. I mean, it was something that I mentioned when Giovanni was first announced.
You did
in terms of what I believe in terms of a game, what I've seen at the football club when I was there. Originally when I come, remember Davey Dodds?
Yeah,
he was that bouncer. He was a bouncer between the players and the management, and Walter Smith and Archie Knox, right? And then Tommy Muller-Nielsen come in, and then he was a bouncer, and that was with Dick Advocaat, right? You need someone like that for me is between the players and the coaching staff that are making the decisions, i.e. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. A Scottish one that knows the values, that knows the culture, that understands the demands of the football club. I think it's hugely important.
Did Martin O'Neill have that with John Robertson? I know he's a View Park boy, although he had great days at it. But he was the kind of player, he would take the players, put the arm around them, close to them.
Yeah, I think you need that. You need the good cop, bad cop to a certain extent. And I think that's why Alec Ferguson took Walter Smith to Old Trafford. He knew what he was getting, that Walter was bright enough to read the dressing room. And, you know, there would be things that Fergie would want to go over to his players that he necessarily didn't want to deliver himself.
Well,
And that's why he brought Walter in, you know.
Yeah. It's not Saturday afternoon at 3, it's Sunday at 4. But just looking there on the cameras, Stuart, most of them are in. Stuart, our producer, he'll be looking for a good 90 minutes coming up. Celtic have done the business at Fir Park, 4-0 this afternoon. It's over now to Rangers up against Robbie Nielsen's Hearts. That's next.
The Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Visit their showroom in Darnley, Glasgow to test drive your new taxi.
Let's go!
It's Sunday afternoon, the Go Radio Football Show. Don't forget tomorrow morning, Crofty and Grado from 6 a.m. Brilliant show and a chance. It's been amazing. People winning holidays, kitchens. There's been so much on the show, so they'll be on tomorrow morning. What will they be saying football-wise? Well, they'll be saying Celtic won 4-0 this afternoon. What's the scoreline going to be with Rangers against Hearts? Hearts would love to be the third force. Davy, we know that Craig is going for a Rangers win. What do you expect to happen this afternoon?
I think Hearts will take something from the game. I don't think Hearts will ever have a better chance going to Ibrox. If they can get through the first 15, 20 minutes without any damage, I think the pressure really goes on Rangers, and I'm not sure this Rangers side can handle real pressure. I think Hearts will get at least a draw today.
At least a draw?
Yeah.
A score draw, do you sense, or do you think?
Yeah, probably, because, you know, Liam Boyce, they've got Woodburn and Sims on the bench who've got goals in them. Barry Mackay playing out his skin as well. So Hearts have got the tools to hurt Rangers today. I was talking about Rangers' bottle. It depends if Hearts have got the bottle as well. But, you know, if Hearts turn up today, they can get something.
It is a strong bench, you know. Janelli there as well on the bench, who we know can make an impact and score goals. So yeah, they've definitely got some firepower that can come on if they can stay in the game early doors. It's up to Rangers to try and ask those questions, and certainly the supporters will want to see a really swift response from midweek.
And Craig, that's a proper entrance. They're coming out from the same entrance rather than at Fir Park where they come up. Anyway, Craig, what do you reckon for those who've just joined us then? Your old team, Rangers, the champions, up against Hearts. What's your scoreline or your prediction today?
Look, again, my heart, I'm saying Rangers. You know, I'd like to see a response, a positive response from midweek, and you know, if that is there, then I still believe that this Rangers side is a better side than what I'm looking at from Hearts. But at the end of the day, you've got to go and earn that right out in that football field. Hopefully, the supporters play a big role, and I think it will be tight though. I think it'll be tight.
Scoreline?
2-1.
2-1 for Rangers, who are McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun and Bassey. The manager has been busy in the last few days. Jack, Lundstrom, Aribo and Arfield, Kent and Morelos. Just looking at the pictures there on Sky, and it's a smiling Alfredo Morelos for that stock picture. They do it well, your company there, Davey, on Sky. It's an afternoon of football here in Go Radio as well. And Hearts, so Gordon, Kingsley, Baningame, McAneff, Boyce, Atkinson, Devlin. In fact, Davey, it's Moore, Sibic and Kingsley at the back. Atkinson, Baningame, Devlin and Cochrane, McAneff, and then up front, Boyce and Mackay, indeed. So it's going to be some game that's sure. You're both predicting goals. Liam Boyce there, I see the camera on him, the Northern Ireland international. He's been back scoring again. He's had injuries as well, Davey, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yep. Well, he had a horror injury when he was at Ross County. And if you think about it, you know, he was top scorer in Scotland playing for Ross County. Went down south, really struggled to get over his injuries, but doing a great turn for Hearts. He's also, I think, more or less on the record as saying he will not resume his international career with Northern Ireland, which is bad news for Northern Ireland, but it's good news for Hearts.
Your old teammate, birthday yesterday for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as the game kicks off, Rangers.
And Barry's was a few days ago as well.
It was, that's right.
Yeah. So
I was going to say we celebrated it, but in that case it was the day of the game, wasn't it? So that was a tough one for him. But no, he was with Davey and myself and with the listeners tuning in their thousands to the Go Radio Football Show. Yep, GVB, his birthday. Just checking how old he is. Not that it matters for the manager.
I'm going for about 45.
45,
46.
46, okay. Barry 44 the other night. It's Rangers on the attack immediately. Morelos getting in among it there.
Just route one as well. Yeah. Just a long clearance from McGregor, and ball goes in behind, and Morelos chases it down and Rangers get a corner.
Look at that pitch, Craig. I know you're on pitch watch today. You like Fir Park. Let's see this ball into the box and a header there from Aribo. So chance there for Rangers, Craig.
Yeah, Aribo gets across the front stick there, gets a header. I think it comes off a Hearts player. It was a header on target. I think it comes off McInnes. Another corner for Rangers.
Davey, decent start by the champions.
It's just the start that Rangers needed. They've got to get the crowd on side here. And this is the kind of high energy start they would have wanted. And a real chance there to Balogun, who wins the header on the penalty spot. Should be doing better. Yeah,
he gets up. He gets up really, I think, quite uncontested. He's got to maybe at least hit the target there. But free header and a good positive start. 2 consecutive corners for Rangers. You see there Morelos actually trying to press Hearts early doors, which then, I was going to say force an error, but then Rangers make an error.
40. I'll tell you in a second or two as Hearts have a chance. He was born February 75, so that makes him 47 yesterday.
75,
just about the same as you. You're 75 as well. Yeah, you're not 75, but
some days I feel like I'm
nonsense. Fit young man. Davey, was that a chance for Hearts early on after a minute
long
and a
range
half?
effort, which bent away wide of Alan McGregor's left hand post. Hearts seeing a little bit more of the ball now and building the game very nicely here. Bassey locked into the corner here, just trying to usher the ball out of play. Does it? Rangers have a goal kick.
Bassey, is that his best position, would you say, Davey?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll tell you what, it's a kick in the teeth to Barisic that he was hooked at half time and now he's been bombed today. And Barisic, who I'm convinced, the first Old Firm game of the season, when he gave it the goodbye wave, I'm convinced that he thought he was on his way, and I think it's only a matter of time now before he leaves the club.
Rangers should have enough to do it this afternoon, though, Davey. I know you think it's going to be a draw, and maybe some of that is the psychology. They're just not clicking at the moment. But when you look at the team, I mean, about 2 months ago, we were saying it's a pretty. I get it. At the start of the season, you said this is not a great Rangers team that won the title, but it was a good, strong, pretty solid squad. Sometimes it's the psychology can change things.
And it's the squad, though. You need a kind of a deep squad to definitely play their roles, because suspensions, players coming in and out of form. But like I said, I mean, I think the way that people would expect the season to play out, it's turned. It's swung on its head.
Is that a stat there? Was that GVB has only lost one of his 14 games? Is that right?
That would be about right.
It's amazing that I know he touched on it earlier on, but it's goals that count, isn't it? It's winning games, and you have to. In this town, there's only one winner. It's got to be one or the other, isn't it? And we're not talking.
That's the only currency. That's the only currency in Glasgow. Is winning football matches.
I mean, weeks like this, when you had a good win against Celtic, were you just 6? Well, you're 6 foot tall. Were you 7 foot tall? What was it like? As Rangers come forward, Morella's edge of the box. Sorry, Craig. And is that going to be a goal kick?
Yeah, it's going to be a goal kick.
But it must make such a difference.
It's a massive game. You know what it means to the supporters. So the importance of the game is never lost. But at the same time, you then got to go and follow up, or you then got to go and win that next match. That's the most important thing.
There's going to be a tussle. We'll see Sibic up against Morelos. Morelos has been involved right from the start. Ryan Jack plays it through, but the ball doesn't get to Joe Aribo. Aribo could be a big day for him, Davey. We didn't see much of him against Celtic.
No. Although he was one of the Rangers' better players on a night where they had very few. But Hearts have just got to make sure they don't get caught with the ball over the top. They've been caught twice here. Sibic's been caught twice under the ball. And I'm not talking about short range balls in Ben. I'm talking about the ball's travelled 50 yards and he still ended up under the ball. I don't get that, Craig. How a centre back can't read the long ball and drop.
No, well, that's right. When especially from that type of distance, so you're talking 50, 60 yards.
The first one,
and as a defender, you can see that pass. You've got plenty of time to adjust, and you just got to drop off. So you're right. I don't know how it happens, but it does happen, and normally leads to goals, doesn't it?
No goals so far. 5 minutes exactly played as Scott Arfield for Rangers. He's got space and he sweeps it out to the left to Ryan Kent. Can be so effective down that left, and that's where GVB wants him. Does well, steps inside, and a great chance there. Could have passed it to Morelos. Could have gone for it. That could have been a goal.
Yeah, the Rangers on the counter. Morelos involved in the link-up. Arfield gets the ball out wide to Kent, who gets out 1v1. He comes and he shapes back inside. He cuts it in on his right foot, puts a good ball in. Morelos at the back stick. It wasn't a pass. He just looked to put it in a dangerous area. good chance gone missing.
I think if Morelos gambles there, he scores there, he's got a tap in. He's caught static.
Yep.
But a good bright start by Rangers though, and they needed one today. They needed a bright start.
There's a bounce there that we didn't see the other night in the East End, Davy.
Well, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, very civilised in front of the cameras, but there's no doubt there's been a few harsh words exchanged in that dressing room. I'm just looking at the Morelos chance here again. If he throws himself at that, he gets something on it. Rangers are 1-up.
It's because it comes through legs. You're right, but it's normally the defender that doesn't gamble and the attacker does. So you expected maybe Morelos to, if he gambles there, he gets a tap in from a yard out, doesn't he?
Games live on Sky. Davy, you down south for some games? I know you've been at some great games this year. Been quite a few changes as well. Good start for Frank Lampard yesterday.
Great
Everton.
start. Great start. Somebody's got to get it right there.
I know. It's a brilliant club. Everyone says that. I don't know. I'm more Liverpool when I'm down there, but everyone says it's a terrific club.
It is, but you wonder how, Ronald Koeman, Martinez, Koeman, Allardyce, Benitez. I mean, good managers.
Ancelotti.
Yeah, good managers. But I don't understand why it doesn't work.
And one constant, big Duncan Ferguson, who stays there.
Cole's come in now as well. Ashley Cole, as Frank Lampard brought in Ashley Cole with him as well.
As Rangers under pressure there, but Connor Goldson does well. McGregor out at the edge of the box. Liam Boyce bursting forward, and Connor Goldson just sweeps up there, plays it back out, right back to his goalkeeper and up. Yeah, but what's gone wrong at Everton? But a good start for Frank Lampard, who, I think he did well at Chelsea, didn't he? But they made the change just over a year ago, and my goodness, it worked then for Thomas Tuchel. And again, the jury's out on Derby. Some say he did a great job, others he just missed out in promotion, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He done a wonderful job at Chelsea, Lampard. And there's no doubt about that. Young manager.
Gave all the kids a chance as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the likes of Mason Mounts and all those players that come
Billy
through.
Gilmore.
Because he couldn't spend because they had the
embargo.
That's right. Yeah. Here's a chance, Craig. Rangers Morelos, can he make it goal number one? Straight to the keeper. That's easy for Craig Gordon, but a chance there for Rangers in 7-8 minutes.
Again, it's Ryan Jack that drives through the middle there, Davey.
Yeah, really, really good surging run. Finds Morelos. I think he's choked the shot into the ground a little bit, the striker. He's always going to take the shot on, but Rangers and Morelos, may I say, has started really well. Morelos has been outstanding so far, and we've only gone 8 minutes, but he's been involved in everything.
What we do know is it needs to be something a little bit special to beat Craig Gordon. Yeah. He's had a fantastic season, just as we're looking at.
How many saves? Go on. Could you just off the top of your head?
Just off the top of the head, maybe go with 100 or something like that, yeah.
Thank you, Sky Sports, for this one. It's magnificent, isn't he? So remember a year ago that the narrative at this point would be, how could Celtic have let him go during the summer? That was one of those. That's a summer that was a madness around Celtic, wasn't there, that year? But that seems a long time ago. And what will be the situation this coming summer? Well, the sure thing is the Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre will be with you all the way between now and May, Cup final day. And then normally it would be the World Cup, but of course the World Cup's not going to be until November. Yeah. Craig, I'm just looking. I'm hopefully we'll be on the Emirates airline, isn't it, or Qatar Airways? Will be. Yeah. Maybe Qatar. There might be a hint in the name, Davey. Have I taken you to the wrong part of the Middle East there, Bob? Sorry. So listen, thanks to everyone for listening all over the Europe, all over the world who've been listening into the programme. We get loads of messages saying, because people like Scottish football. I really think, Davey and Craig, we need a new energy running the game and to sell it abroad. Get sponsors in.
Barry Hearn.
But I think you're right.
Barry Hearn.
Yeah, get him in.
Seriously?
I know, it'd be knockout. Yeah.
Him and his boy Eddie, worth sitting around the table chewing the fat with them.
For sure. That's right, because look what they've done with the boxing world.
The darts.
They've really, and the darts as well. Yep.
Snooker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Done it with so many sports. And I mean, that's why the 5 clubs in Scotland out with the old firm have hired Deloitte to see how the game can be better promoted up here.
And what's going to happen with that one? With it, will we see anything
well,
from
listen,
it?
if the old firm aren't having it, it's not going to fly, is it?
No.
It's a strange one that 5 clubs out with the old firm. Old firm are the engine up here, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, was that in terms of, I remember seeing something, but was that in terms of like being able to bring more commercial opportunities to the game? Yeah.
Yep. Dave Cormack is certainly, behind it. He is a disruptor. He's an entrepreneur. He's got those American values of just let's just go for it. We are a bit conservative with a small C here in Scotland, aren't we? A lot of good people in the game, but there comes a point where you need a new energy, new ideas. Same old, we'll get the same old outcome. Well, for Rangers, 10.5 minutes gone. Rangers 0, Hearts 0. But you always say, Craig, the fans give you 10 or 15 minutes. But if they continue like this, they'll give them a bit longer because they're playing well. And Aribo threads it through to Ryan Kent, and it must be goal. Goal number 1 for Rangers. Who else? Alfredo Morelos. 11 minutes gone. Rangers 1, Hearts 0.
That's a fantastic goal in terms of the way that it's come about. I'm not sure we'll get to see the replay in terms of the ball from the middle of the park, but it's a wonderful ball from midfield. Stretches Hearts, gets in behind their defence. Kent gets in behind. It's actually a ball from Bassi. Good run from Kent. Gets in behind. Puts a great ball into the area. Morelos there at the back post. Just gets a tap in. Good finish. 1-0.
Two of the three players that I said have to stand up for Rangers, and two of them there, Kent, too quick for the full-back caught with the ball inside him, the wing-back caught with the ball inside him. Kent has played a world-class ball between goalkeeper and last defender, and Morelos, where you'd expect him to be getting in at the back post.
I think it was all three you mentioned. Aribo, Kent,
Yeah,
Morelos.
of course, yeah.
You both did.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
exactly.
They are the game changers for Rangers. They are the three game changers, and you've seen a good example of it there. And that's what Rangers needed. They needed the first goal today.
Needed a positive start. You were just prior to that, you were saying you're getting 10 minutes and all that. What will Rangers, as long as they're positive, as long as they're like passing the ball forward, trying to get in behind and create. Young Aussie boy gets caught out there in the wide area. Nathaniel Atkinson, Kent getting in behind him there. Welcome to Scottish football, son.
Craig, can I say this to you as a Rangers great? They opened up Hearts the way Celtic opened up Rangers the other night.
It was again. It was a pattern where you just see, it was like three passes, goal.
It's good to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, ball from the middle area, in behind, in the wider area, knowing exactly where to hit, and your striker being on the end of it.
Crucial few moments for Hearts then, isn't it? They need to try and steady the ship, Davy, because Rangers at the moment look rampant, something we haven't seen for a while.
They do. The start today for Rangers was so important that they get the crowd on side. They've done that. That takes a hell of a lot of the pressure off now, the anxiety off, and you'd expect Rangers to be able to go and express themselves now they're a goal up.
Craig, not happy there?
No, I mean, we've all had it. I guess no matter what team you support, at times you start playing out from the back when it's not on. That was another one of those moments, and then all of a sudden Hearts are, pick up the ball in a decent area, and now, they end up testing Alan McGregor.
That was a chance for Hearts, wasn't it? Out of nothing. Get the ball up the park, Davy. Here.
Oh, nobody getting to the front post for Rangers. Ball in, no real pressure on the ball at the front post. Neither Balogun or Goldson making their presence felt.
It was Mackay, it was a good cross. McAneff just couldn't get enough on it. And out of nothing, Davy, we do bang on about this, about trying to play the ball out from the back. Sometimes boot it up the park.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you've got world-class players, Barcelona, they're playing out from the back, was born at Barcelona, and they had Piqué and Mascherano, two players who can play inside a phone box. But they're good enough for the ball at their feet. A lot of the teams who are trying to play this way don't have the players to do it.
Rangers on the charge there, looking for goal number 2. 14 minutes gone, Craig Moore. It's Joe Aribo down the left, along with Calvin Bassi.
Bassi's looked decent as a left fullback in terms of his involvement going forward there. But yeah, you're talking about that the building up and all that sort of stuff. There's a time and a place for it. You've just on the back of a bad result. You've just gone 1-0 up. Don't invite any silly opportunities. Get the ball forward. Play in areas where you can hurt your opponent. Slim
margins, thin margins football, isn't it? Because, 1 minute you're thinking, right, Rangers are back on it. I almost said, right, that's it this afternoon. Rangers will take the points. But, then moments later, they give the ball away and Hearts almost making it 1-1. I didn't actually say that, of course, because there's a long, long way to go. But Rangers have started with an energy, a purpose, a plan which wasn't obvious. They had no answer to Celtic the other night. But that's in the history books now as we look with 15 minutes gone. 1-0 Rangers. Craig, you've spotted something?
But even you can see there, Benningham, in the end, he does well to get the foul, but you can see that bite and that willingness from Morelos to go and hunt and pressure.
Yep. Throw in for Hearts on the 15-minute spot earlier, 4-0. It was 4-0 for Celtic yesterday. Just looking at the league table, it was a bad day for Hibs, but good day for St Mirren yesterday. And elsewhere, here's the table. Celtic on 60 points, Rangers on 56. But if it stayed 1-0, then they would go on to 59 points. The tightest race we've had for a number of years. Hearts on 43. Let's see what happens. Motherwell will stay on 33. Hibs on 31. Dundee United on 30. Aberdeen and Livy and St Mirren on 29. Ross County on 26. And you begin to see the space they're putting between St Johnstone on 19 and Dundee on 18. Back at Ibrox, Davy, have we missed anything the last few moments? Hearts trying to come back into
not
it?
really. Hearts seeing a little bit more of the ball now. Rangers have dropped off at the moment, taking a little bit of a rest. Really good high energy start from Rangers. Got the breakthrough, which was vital in terms of getting the stadium on side. But Hearts having seen a little bit more of the ball now and trying to threaten Rangers' goal without really being able to open them up.
As Hearts try to come forward, try to bring Barry Mackay into it there. You like him, Craig, Barry Mackay?
He's very lively, isn't he? If he gets the ball into those wider areas and gets some grass so he can run it, he's very, very positive. Be looking to get isolated, but just to be speaking here, Aribo gets into the box, has a shot. It's never really testing Craig Gordon going wide.
That was a chance, though.
Hearts give the ball away in midfield. Dreadful mistake in their own half. Aribo's got to take the shot on because there's nobody really arriving for a pass into the central area, and he scuffed it a little bit. It's bent away from the far post. But Hearts have got to be more secure in possession.
That angle for a left footer, it was always going away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's 1-0 Rangers. Quick break and we're back.
The Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Save on your new taxi with exclusive discounts across Skoda, Toyota, Ford, Seat and more.
Let's go!
We're tackling the afternoon in the company of Craig Moore. We're just speaking about some of his tackles over the years. Such a great defender with Rangers and with Davy Provan, one of the great wingers, forwards. Would they still call you a winger, Davy, these days? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Overload specialist
they
or something?
About number 6s and 10s and 8s and...
I'd like to see us get back to wingers though.
No?
Yeah, like they would call them the inside forwards. Or...
Yeah, I mean that's why I enjoy watching the Abadas and the Kents of this world. Guys who can go up to a fullback and skin him. I think that's one of the real parts of the entertainment business. Watching a forward skinning a defender. I still think that's what gets people off seats.
But by and large, it's a lost art, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not that many people can do it.
No, and I tell you what, I had one of the biggest nightmares of my life.
Tell us when.
Mark Overmars.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Oh,
yep.
Enough said. Talk about wingers. And he was at Ajax. Oh, my God. He was on fire.
Phenomenal. The Dutch master, yep.
And I had no answers.
Was he the hardest player? The most difficult opponent?
At that time, yes.
Yeah.
We had 10 men as well after Gazard got sent off.
Wow.
And Overmars was rapid and intelligent.
Ali McCoist said that Aaron Ramsey, the biggest signing for your old club for Rangers since Paul Gascoigne. Do you think?
Yeah, I kind of can understand where Coyce is coming from there in terms of the interest. I can't remember the last time a player signed for Rangers, Dave, and all of a sudden you're walking in the main doors there and there's the media scrum and all that sort of stuff, the hype. It's got it to do on the park. I mean, look, Gascoigne was a phenomenal talent.
But the Rangers got Gascoigne when he was still at his best, didn't they? Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to our game, but Aaron Ramsey wouldn't have been here 5 years ago, would he?
No.
He's...
No chance. Yeah. I mean
and don't get me wrong, I think Rangers have done really well to get somebody of that stature, that reputation into the club. But, Rangers used to sign, my goodness, they had Ronald de Boer and John Hartson in the building in the one day. They were trying to sign the both of them.
Yeah.
Same time.
Of course, yeah.
Should have signed both of them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And you remember the days when they were, indeed, well, John had to go back at some people were giving him stick last week. But when you think back, Terry Butcher, the England captain, and they signed him. I mean, people don't realise, it'd be like signing Harry Kane just now, wouldn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Instead of Harry Kane maybe going to Man City, we know it didn't happen. They coming to Rangers. It was the soonest revolution at that time. It was absolutely phenomenal. And Celtic had no answer at that point. I think that's right, Davey, isn't it? Because it was still the old board and all the rest of it. Yeah. And Rangers changed things. I know it was David Holmes at first, wasn't it? And then David Murray. Right. And at the beginning, David Holmes started it, the builder from Falkirk.
To be fair to David Murray, he had the courage to sign Mo Johnson, which was seismic. It was long overdue. And he had the bottle to do that.
He did.
I used to David Murray my time when I was at Rangers, and there was a couple of players. I know Mo Johnson was completely different.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of players that Celtic were maybe interested or linked to. David Murray used to just go out and sign them. He used to go out. There was a few
Gordon
players.
Petric was
Gordon
one.
Petric is another one.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Both, they were
Decent,
both
wasn't
after,
he?
yeah.
The big defender. Gordon Petric. So that's Craig Moore and Davy Provan just talking about some of the names, and it's a big Rangers name who scored. Alfredo Morelos, their top scorer this season, who scored this afternoon pretty early on for Rangers. Rangers 1, Hearts 0, and Craig Moore were halfway through the first half.
Yeah, look, and Rangers they started off positive, but as we know, sometimes at Ibrox, if you don't get your goal, how tough a place it can be. Pretty simple goal in the end, but worked well. Kent makes a good run, gets in behind, good ball from Bassi. Ball in for Morelos, who does his job.
Where do taxi drivers go when they need to buy a taxi? Well, the Taxi Centre have supplied cars to the trade for over 20 years, and they stock a huge range of motors from the world's leading manufacturers: Skoda, Kia, Toyota, Mercedes, Nissan, Ford, Hyundai, you name it. They've got saloons, MPVs, estates, minibuses, prestige cars, the lot, all under one roof, ready for immediate collection or free delivery anywhere on the mainland UK. With taxi trade exclusive discounts, flexible finance options and no hidden fees. They even throw in registration and 12 months road tax. So if you're a taxi driver who needs a new or used taxi, where would you go? TheTaxiCentre.com. Trade only.
The Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Save on your new taxi with exclusive discounts across Skoda, Toyota, Ford, Seat and more.
Let's go!
We're just the Go Radio Football Show, Sunday afternoon. Celtic winning 4-0 this afternoon at Motherwell. Rangers 1 up at half-time against Hearts. We're just seeing some of the highlights there from AFCON, Davy, and it was those moments when the referee, he got the switch watch wrong, didn't he?
I think he got it wrong twice. He blew 5 minutes before time up was actually up, and then they restarted the game and he did it again.
The batty go on it.
Yep. Hugh Dallas still refereeing, is he? Or
imagine he'd done that in the Old Firm game.
Oh, could you imagine? Yeah. Hugh Dallas, actually, he was our top referee.
Yeah.
Not trying to be controversial.
Nah,
He's just a name that came to mind.
He was a good ref, very good
indeed.
ref, Hugh Dallas.
And he was always good with the media. He would always, I think, give you what he could. Yeah? Would that be fair? Yeah. So at halftime, Nottingham Forest 3, Leicester 1. Davey, that's going to be some team top. Brendan Rodgers halftime. The cup holders.
Yeah, I mean, again, they climbed the mountain last year to win it, didn't they? It was never going to happen again. It's all about finishing in Europe. I don't think they're going to make the Champions League places now, Leicester, but still got a chance of finishing. Maybe getting into the what's it they call it? Europa League.
The Europa
so many
Conference.
competitions now.
Intertoto. No, I'm only kidding. It used to be. Yeah,
I qualified through that with Newcastle. Intertoto.
You did. That's right. I remember we spoke about it before. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's not knock it, but when we don't know about it, we all go, "What's that third tournament?"
Conference. It's a conference, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Celtic are in it. Rangers, remember, are still in the Europa League.
Yeah.
The second tournament. Because it used to be the Cup Winners' Cup. Used to be seen to be.
I just wonder how much attention Ange Postecoglou will pay that competition. If he's got a big league game coming up, will he take a risk with his players in the conference? Will he think Celtic can win the tournament, or it's a bit of a dilemma for him. I think he's got to give all his full attention to the title, winning a title.
Is that what you would do?
I would sacrifice I would play a shadow team in the conference.
Great point.
Yeah, I
Craig?
mean, we've spoken about it all season. The amount of money that it's worth to win the league this year is automatic.
Yeah.
Qualification for Champions League, 40 million.
It's up there in the studio.
Yeah,
it's not actually. I keep pointing to that. Everyone looks at it.
I'll keep looking at it.
I see 40 million there. Will we see any of it? Zippo, not a song team, not a thin dime, but Rangers or Celtic can win that. 35 to 40 million pounds. Well, Alfredo Morelos has just scored a goal, which, when we look back at the end of the season, it might be a 40 million goal. It's certainly a terrific one, Craig Moore. In the 11 minutes, they got the opener and the only goal so far, but it's a wonderful move, along with Aribo, Kent, and Morelos.
Yeah, very well worked. And again, probably from the start that Rangers had the first 10 minutes, for them to go 1-0 up after 11 minutes certainly wasn't a surprise. It was a good finish, Morelos getting on the end of it. They just haven't gone on with the job. So at 1-0, it's still game on for Hearts, isn't it, coming out for the second half?
Yeah, very much so. I think Hearts have been poor, particularly at the back, Craig. They've been caught a couple of times. Simple bread and butter, long ball. Defenders caught underneath it. Ryan Kent could have put Rangers 2 up.
Yep.
When he does brilliantly to open the target up for himself, he's a fraction out. Morelos, you could argue, could have thrown himself at it and scored. But at 1-0, Hearts are still in the game.
Because Hearts are almost an island in between the pack in the middle in the league and Celtic and Rangers at the top, as we look at some of the other highlights here on Sky. And that was the next best one, wasn't it, Davy? Ryan Kent.
Well, both times for Kent, it's very similar position to earlier on, and he's shaved the far post there. He's just trying to pass it inside the far post. But Ryan Kent has been at his very best today. Should have had a penalty when he had his jersey tugged inside the box. But Hearts can't cope with him. And you know, if you're Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, you're saying at half time, get the ball into his feet all day long.
See with that other chance here, Lundstrom on the back of the good work for Kent, where potentially it could have been a penalty. I think the referees probably let it go because Lundstrom's looking at it as if he's going to work the shot.
Yeah.
Doesn't eventually get the shot off. So, I mean, in terms of the advantage, in terms of the rules, he didn't call it anyway. But I'm talking about even with VAR, would they call that back if they feel then that you've already had the advantage of scoring a goal?
That's a good point. How does that work? Because if the referee missed that, which he must have, who actually tells the referee? I suppose is it Stockley Heath or wherever it would be up here? You know, it'd be
someone
Barhead or something, or you know, someone where beginning with an S, Straven or something.
Well, in terms of the jersey pool, which the far side linesman can't see because it's in his blind side. Referee's not seen it. I think Willie Collingwood got a message in his ear. There's a penalty there. You've missed the jersey tug. And Willie Collin would then be invited to go over and see it on the screen on the halfway line and then give it.
I thought Davey was about to say the far side linesman couldn't see it because he's not got very good eyesight. He didn't say it. He's not offending anyone, honestly.
Oh, no.
I'm a speck wearer myself. So I know, you know, a joke, a bit of humour.
It's gone, it's all gone.
It's gone. Second half hasn't gone, but a large part of the afternoon has gone. Can you believe it's 5-5? It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's 5-5 on Sunday afternoon.
Super Sunday.
Listen, Super Sunday. What will we be talking about tomorrow night? Rangers fans looks, well, it's too early to say, but one goal up. But they're playing well. And I'm going to ask you, Craig, in a moment who you might change at half time. I know managers rarely make changes at half time, but they did. And he had to. In fact, arguably, maybe could have changed. But Rangers have got Barisic on the bench, who came off the other night. Davis, Ramsey. That's the big question. Are we going to see him in the next 45 minutes? We'll tell you shortly.
The Go Radio Football Show with the TaxiCentre.com. Your exclusive taxi trade savings are waiting on you.
Let's go!
Heading for 5 Sunday afternoon Go Radio Football Show. Paul Cooney, Davy Provan, Craig Moore, and an afternoon of football where the headlines: Celtic go 4 points clear at the top of the table, but Rangers 1 goal up at half time. That would go back to 1 point between the two. Celtic on 60, Rangers would be on 59 points. And midweek we'll be here building up to the games which include Aberdeen Celtic, Rangers against Hibs, Dundee United Motherwell, Hearts against Dundee, St Mirren St Johnstone, and Ross County against Livingston. And in the FA Cup, well, the cup holders Leicester, they were 3-0 down at Nottingham Forest from the Championship, but it's 3-1 at half time. Those are the headlines. Second half, Davy, are we going to see Aaron Ramsey, do you think?
I think you will. I think when the pace of the game drops a little bit, that'll be the time to get him on. And I think if the game does start to stretch, that's when you'll see Ramsey at his best.
Craig?
Yeah, he'll definitely come on.
You've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a full house here, and at the moment things are going well. But Giovanni will be hoping that they can start the second half positive, tempo, energy, second goal, and then if you can go and bring on Ramsey to experience the atmosphere and also to give another lift. You know, it's important, I think. But we'll see. It's an interesting second half. Only at 1-0. Hearts are always in the match.
What would you say to him about Scottish football? You've played in England, you've played here, you've played in the continent, and he's played, in England, of course, at Arsenal, Juventus, international football. What would you be saying to give him an insight into what to expect here?
I think it's just more about going out and enjoy it. I don't think people can really understand the support that both Rangers and Celtic, especially these kind of big signings, Davey, when they go out and play for you, the noise that they'll make, and the players have just got to go out and enjoy that. Good performance, good goal, and all of a sudden you're cemented, aren't you? You're one of them straight away. And I mean, it must be exciting as a player to come in knowing that you're playing in front of a big crowd, and knowing that there's something at stake, Paul, every single game when you're at a big football club.
I think a lot of these top players, they want to sample it. They hear so much about Glasgow and the Old Firm game. So you get Robbie Keane and Roy Keane, Trevor Francis, Ray Wilkins. They all want to be part of it and sample it.
Yeah, and you still get so many. Sorry, Paul, I know you're just about to move on there, but I've been watching games and all that sort of stuff, and you've got scouts from a lot of the clubs down south and all that, and they go, I can't wait to get up to watch a Rangers Celtic game.
Yeah.
That interest in our game up here is there.
Thanks to everyone who is listening, and loads of messages coming in saying they're enjoying the show. We were saying, Paul, you want to move on? No, I was just listening somewhere else at that moment. No, I was going to say that was some scoreline yesterday in Edinburgh. 2017, that's a lot of goals, isn't it? Well done, Scotland, Davy.
Yes.
And Scotland winning the Calcutta Cup in the rugby 2017.
17-10 down as well. Finn Russell, just good to see Finn Russell back in the team and doing so well.
Of course.
Had a big fallout with Gregor Townsend, didn't he? Good to patch that up.
And it took some time, but it's amazing. We were the underdogs, and of course Wales, who are the defending champions, they were well beaten by Ireland, so it's shaping up for quite a year. And I know you love your rugby as an Oz, you do.
Is that the next match also for Scotland against Wales? I'm pretty sure it is. And
yes.
They've had a great start anyway, 1 from 1.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Is it Scotland Wales next? I'm saying yes, but
yes,
we'll
pretty
double
sure.
check. That's magnificent. Just waiting for the second half to get underway again. There'll be some games, won't they? I went a couple of years ago to Scotland, Ireland. What an atmosphere at Murrayfield. I've not been often,
but it's a good atmosphere. There's none of the
it's different atmosphere.
They can have a drink. The supporters will mix.
Yep.
Even in Edinburgh, when the game's at Murrayfield, a lot of the likes of the Welsh supporters will come up and they'll go to the pub in Rose Street and off Princess Street, and they'll mix with the Scottish people, and it's never any bad feeling. Here comes Sims, Ellis Sims coming on. That's the boy I was talking about, Loney from Everton. So Hearts going to have a go here, going to give Liam Boyce a bit of company.
Yep, Wales, Scotland up next, and good luck, Gregor Townsend and the guys. Magnificent result yesterday. So, football-wise here this afternoon, this is a massive 45 minutes, Craig, for your old team, for the champions. A good start. They need to start the second the way they did, because you're not going to just go and try and hold on, are you? No. They want another.
No, you definitely you need to start well, and that means the good energy and forcing Hearts early doors in terms of errors, and hopefully you can go and get the goal, because there's certainly a bit to play out still in this second half, and I think a second goal will certainly have Rangers feeling a lot more comfortable.
Just in some of the Sunday papers, a lot about Roy Keane. Will he be back? I see Neil Lennon's been mentioned at Sunderland. Neil Lennon as well. Is it going to be Roy Keane?
Well, I think they had talks on Friday evening, lengthy talks, but they've done a lot of interviewing.
Yeah.
I think the sporting director trying to cool the Roy Keane speculation this morning, but he's certainly well in the frame. And if you look at the job he did last time around, where they were, I think Niall Quinn was in charge briefly. They'd gone 5 games into the season. They were either bottom of the league or second bottom, and he won the title for them, Roy Keane. And listen, he walks into a dressing room, he would have an impact. People would sit up.
People have forgotten what he did at Sunderland, and they remember Ipswich and all that, and that didn't go well. Sorry, Craig, you were going to say?
I'm just saying, I mean, look, everyone knows exactly the way that he is, and he's not going to change for anybody. No. So, he's been successful at that football club. Just find football is such a strange game. But they're in third, aren't they? Sunderland in third, and the Johnson got the sack.
Just outside the automatic. Chance here for Hearts at back post. Barry Mackay who comes in? No.
Nathaniel Atkinson.
Yeah, the boy you were talking about, Craig. He takes up a really good position at the back post. He can see the last defender, times his run well, and he's almost from an impossible angle. He's almost arrowed that inside the far post. First real danger of the second half here, and it's come from Hearts.
That's a big chance, and I don't know whether he's actually trying to score, or whether he's just trying to put it back into the danger area, but it doesn't miss by far, and it's a wake-up call.
Well, Craig, the champions started really well in the first half. They've been caught cold there. They need to wake up and get moving.
Yeah, not even a minute. Again, you spoke about start well. All of a sudden, you start sloppy, and a great chance. It's not what you're after.
No. And we talked about Aaron Ramsey coming on, but that's almost a luxury. And I hesitate to say that, Craig, because he's a magnificent player, but it's a difficult dynamic for him now, isn't it? He wasn't on the bench at all the other night. He's on the bench just now. Will he play this afternoon? You'd rather throw him on. Well, we just don't know about the fitness. But I heard what you said earlier. He's been in Italy, top class pro.
So.
He'll be fine. He played in November for Wales. That was his last game, which is not that long ago, just over 2.5 months. Well, I suppose that could be a long time. Let's see what's happening here as Rangers. They're playing left to right as you look from the old stand, the main stand at Ibrox, as Ryan Jack. Great to see him back in a Rangers jersey, and hopefully in a Scotland jersey too before long, back as we look at the World Cup campaign and the playoffs, and we try to get to Qatar.
They're just around the corner as well, aren't they?
Indeed, March. So, but that fizzles out there, Davey. They took my eye off the ball for a moment. I think Rangers did too. It's Hearts now in possession.
They need the second goal, Rangers. Otherwise, this is going to get very nervy. If Hearts can hang in there and keep it at 1 into the last quarter of the game, here's a chance. It's Bassey who gives it away. Oh, what a chance! And he's missed it.
Massive chance.
That's 2 chances in 2 minutes, Craig, and that was a defensive blunder. Calvin Bassey, actually, to be fair, he puts his hand up to the crowd and goes, "I'm sorry."
But David, this is horrible defending. He's got to score. Devlin's got to score.
So what? He's headed it down right into the path of Devlin, who's lobbed it, but just past the post.
McGregor's off his line. Awful defending. I don't know what Bassey's thinking, because Devlin was always there. Massive chance. 2 massive chances within 2 minutes. So if that's not a wake-up call to Rangers, then I don't know what is. But Hearts should be...
Yeah. On the back of Bassey's mistake at Ross County, there's another one. Under no pressure at all, he's allowed Hearts to have a terrific chance, one they should have taken.
They're asleep, Davey. They've come out not the way they started in the first half, Craig, have they? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Come on.
But what about when you're trying to find a way to engage the supporters and get them right behind you, and all of a sudden you start the second half like that? Now they're on edge and a little bit nervy, and just go and start, concentrate, focus.
Put the pressure on Hearts, who made that change. So Ellis Sim is on as Ryan Jack bursts forward for Rangers. Edge of the box, he's been tackled. Is that a free kick? Referee Willie Collins says no.
I actually thought it was. I've not got the benefit of the replay, but it's a tackle from behind.
That'll be a popular decision. I don't think Willie's the most popular at Ibrox.
Or anywhere, to be fair. Which either means he's terrible or he is our top referee, because he drives everyone nuts, doesn't he?
He's well regarded by UEFA, though, isn't he? He gets all the top games for UEFA.
I think the Celtic fans also give him stick, don't they? I don't think it's just Rangers fans.
He's missed that. That was a free kick. The challenge on Ryan Jack is a free kick all day long.
Should have been a free kick there to Rangers Ryan Jack, and Craig will be watching to make sure the hope is that he is okay.
Yeah. In the game you can just see the foul here. No, Banningham, he catches him from behind. It's a free kick. He's got himself up. He's a little bit ginger, but he's starting to jog it off there. Hopefully, like it says, with the injuries that Ryan Jack's had, hopefully be okay.
An hour or so ago, we said to you, right, who's going to pick it up for Rangers today? And you said, Aribo, Kent, Morelos, and they did, and others, and they have to do it now, don't they, Craig?
Well, speaking of Davey there, he was a winger. Kent, every time he's got the ball, Nathaniel Atkinson, the Aussie boy, has struggled in the first half. Have they got the ball out enough to Kent?
No,
I don't think so either. We kind of sometimes there's a weakness, and maybe you don't play on it enough.
Davey, we're seeing a lot of Hearts here now at the start of the second half, 5.5 minutes.
They've been much better second half for Hearts. It's almost as if they didn't believe in the first half. But I think Robbie Nielsen said to them at half time, we're 1 down, we're well in this game, but you're going to have to show a little bit more belief, and they've shown that so far.
Compete. And, the ref has actually said that was a push that time. He missed it a moment ago, but
he's given that to make up for missing the Jack one. Yeah. They're all human.
Of course. And was that a free kick?
Soft. The hands on the back. But you're right. I think, and you don't want to slag the referees off.
No.
But
feel free.
But there is. But you're talking about, there's a leveler, because Ryan Jack should have had a free kick, less than 2 minutes.
Listen,
ago.
they're well paid. I think it's a grand
they're not full time though. They're not full time.
Listen to the editor of the show this afternoon was David Provan. That's a good shout, Davey. Feel free, as the referee now pulling the play back. Morelos thought he had a chance to break forward, but it's actually going to be a free kick for Hearts. We're just seeing a replay here, and Joe Aribo making a tackle there, but back live. 51.5 minutes gone. Rangers leading Hearts by a 1-0. Alfredo Morelos, 11 minutes. That seems a long time ago, doesn't it, in the game? So Rangers now, crucial second half coming up. They start the game 4 points behind Celtic, and it's been a long time since anyone has said that. But Rangers, if they hold on at 1-0, or Craig score another goal or two, then they will just narrow it to 1 point as Rangers come forward. Ryan Jack, chance to play it through. He does to Scott Arfield, out to Tavernier. Tavernier, good ball in, and Morella's with just couldn't get onto that one, Davy.
No, but he's looked very sharp, to be fair to Morelos. He's looked apart today. I don't know whether the international break has done him good, actually, getting a bit of a rest, but he's the main danger today. He and Kent, main danger.
We're seeing them near their best, aren't we, Craig? They're playing well. We're just watching a replay there.
Saying, yeah. I mean, but again, the a little bit sloppy the second half. But those individuals, yes. I mean, Morelos has looked lively in this game, and Kent has probably produced the best moments in terms of the wider areas for Rangers.
Calvin Bassey there, but the referee is pulled back. Balogun, he's saying that was a late tackle. We'll see the replay. Balogun saying, "You kidding?" But it's going to be a free kick. Liam Boyce is down, writhing at the moment. Here we see it again, Craig. So it's Boyce and Balogun. It was awkward more than anything.
Again, he gets a tackle with his right foot. I think it's his left knee that catches.
That's a good tackle for me. That's a good tackle. He wins the ball cleanly with the outside of his right foot. He then can't pull out because he's totally committed to winning the ball.
It's the solar plexus, I think we call it. Yeah, exactly. But that's just part of it. I mean, there's no intent there whatsoever. No. The tackle was solid. It was a good tackle. He's won the ball and he's yellow carded. That's
it's like I said. Sometimes I understand when it's a reckless kind of tackle where 2 feet are off the ground and all that. But he's slid on the ground.
You can tell. You know when a player's gone in to do someone and he's gone in there to win the ball, nothing else, and he's won it.
Yeah.
It's February the 6th. Look at the weather we've had. You know, it's slippy there. It's been wet.
The trailing leg one, though, I was probably guilty at times. Sometimes with a little bit of a trailing.
GVB is not happy with the decision. He's speaking to the fourth official, Davey.
Roy Mackay out there as well. Rangers could do with him. Wonder if he's still registered.
He knows a way to goal, doesn't he?
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Is that why Jermaine Defoe's away? I see he came on for Sunderland yesterday.
Did he?
Jermaine Defoe. Yep.
Yeah, so he got himself sorted pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Great character.
Yeah. And he spoke really quite fondly of his time here at Rangers.
And his record's good when you look at it. Was that 30 odd goals and 70 odd appearances? I mean, I know most of them were earlier on, but my goodness, it's a good return. Liam Boyce is back on his feet. This is what happens. It's a contact sport. Yep, chance. Free kick for Hearts. 55 minutes gone. Craig Moore, Rangers 1, Hearts 0.
Yeah, good area for Hearts. We'll be looking at test Rangers as the ball gets swung in here. Oh, it's a good ball in.
Well done, Aribo. Well done, Joe Aribo.
Headed away for
the
a
front
corner.
Post down. Yep. Wow. It's a terrific ball and horrible ball to defend. And Aribo, facing his own goal, managed to get it safe, get it behind.
Out for a corner kick for Hearts. It's been a nervy start to the second half, Davey. And who's going to take it? Barry Mackay. He's going to take it right-footed. Rangers get everyone back. And they've got height. So too, the Hearts, 2 big teams right-footed. 6-yard box. Goes over the head of Alfredo Morelos, who quite rightly lets it go, and that's going to be a throw into Rangers, so the sting taken out of that one. Davey, what do you think so far? 10 minutes. This game's not over.
Well, after Morelos scores, you're thinking this is a matter of how many, because Rangers really looked up for it. They've lost their way a little bit, Rangers, and Hearts now look as if they fancy it more than they did in the first half. And at 1-0, listen, the game's never over at 1-0, no matter how much of the ball you're having. At 1-0, you're always likely to lose one just as easily at the other end of the pitch.
It's stop-start at the moment, Craig, isn't it?
Spot on. I was just about to say that. It's very much stop-start, which again is kind of not really helping Rangers in terms of flow to the game. But it's helping Hearts because they're getting good free kicks now and decent opportunities. Starting to test Rangers, who haven't really got started in the second half.
That's probably the tactic. The manager said for the second half, get involved, get back into the game, just that one goal in it, and it's going to be a throw into Rangers on the far side. Rangers claiming a free kick there, but I think it is a throw in.
Tell you what, it's a real aggressive challenge there from Moore, isn't it? Leading with the studs. Fortunate he took some of the ball.
Yeah, that could have been a nasty one. The pace of it is such that difficult to call first time round. David, I don't know who would be a referee. You'd have to be a bit.
Well, that's why all the referees want VAR, Paul, because VAR will save them being slaughtered the day after the game.
Yeah.
And they all make mistakes, and if they've made a mistake, I'm sure they would want VAR to correct it and get them off the hook.
as Hearts come forward. Chance there, played into Sims by Barry Mackay.
Good chance. Sims gets himself in a good position.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe doesn't take the tidiest of touch, and I think Balogun does just enough, obviously, to keep his body between him and goal. But again, Hearts they're probing away for sure.
The Rangers fans, 50,000 this afternoon, more or less, I suppose. You're not going to be enjoying it just now. You're happy you won up, but it's kind of nail biting.
Yeah, first half you're happy. You would have loved to have seen the second.
Yeah.
Second half you go, okay, let's go and get the job done.
Yeah.
Started really, really poorly. Couple of early chances, wasn't it, the first 2 minutes for Hearts, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a little bit biting the nails kind of stuff there today.
But you still feel Rangers are going to do it this afternoon.
I still believe that, but at the moment they've not got started this second half, and the manager will have a job to do, whether it's making a substitution to change the flow of the game.
You say that
Stop starts kind of helped Hearts, I think.
you with a little less conviction than you had earlier on, a bit like the team just now. It's just they can't get started. You're right, Craig, because the Rangers fans listening and they're on the socials as well saying, come on, let's get Aaron Ramsey on, but I don't think it's going to happen just now. But Rangers now up over the halfway line for the first time in 5 or 6 minutes, and Calvin Bassey looks up. He's got Joe Aribo in there. He's got more options as well. Scott Arfield as well, Davey. That was a chance.
Yeah, Ryan Kent screaming for it too, just never get his head up.
Yeah.
But, I think Rangers get a second, the game's over. But 58 minutes gone now. The longer it goes, the more nervy this will become at 1-0.
That'll do you, Craig.
Yeah.
Second goal.
No, that would do me. But see there, in terms of the wider areas, Celtic have been so ruthless in those wider areas. Bassey just needs to get his head up there. He can pick out 2 players in the box. In the end, he doesn't do that. And it's a big opportunity that you miss. That really can put you in with a tap-in second 2-0.
Looking at the bench, because it's like any game, when it's tight, that with an hour gone, who might Rangers bring on? I'll ask you both in a second or two. We're just watching here. It's on Sky 1, isn't it? Well, 401. It's not Sky 1. Sky Sports main event. This is the Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. It's going to be another yellow card. It's a Hearts player getting a yellow card here. As we just watch it. This time it's Devlin. Oh no, in fact, Atkinson came in late.
1-2 Australian connection. 1-2. But again, we spoke about it there. Can't get the ball.
Yeah.
Test him defensively. Yellow card.
Shall we hear from Ange Postecoglou shortly? Not at the moment though. Let's we'll try and we will hear from him at some point. But Davey, it's a free kick to Rangers. Robbie Nielsen now speaking to the fourth official.
I think Robbie Nielsen feels that Connor Goldson should have been booked 2 minutes ago for a late challenge on Barry Mackay. Robbie Nielsen's going to be booked here. Willie Collum has come right across. His fourth official obviously has been in Willie Collum's ear, telling him that he's getting dog's abuse here. Willie Collum has shown Robbie Nielsen a yellow card. Robbie's coming back out the dugout. I think he wants the last word here to the fourth official. I hope not.
Yeah. So he's just, he's up on his feet. It's going to be a free kick to Rangers. 60 minutes exactly played. Over the ball, Craig. We've got
Tavernier with the delivery. It's defended well by Hearts. Oh, strike from edge of the box. Ryan Jack, volley, but it's just fading away and off target.
Oh, that would have been a comeback goal for Ryan Jack, wouldn't it, Davey? It was a decent chance, but it was well off target.
Lot of spin on the ball as he struck it, which didn't help him. 2 Hearts defenders want to take the ball in their own box. Craig Gordon wants to go long, and Robbie Nielsen still having it out with the fourth official on the touchline. Robbie Neal probably saying, we're going to see the old, what was it, the long Glasgow blink, Robbie?
Yeah, that's what we called it.
It was a great line, wasn't it?
I know.
It's a great line.
Yeah, but they're a bit paranoid, aren't they, in the East? Aren't they? A little bit, yeah. About the media, the West of Scotland. Remember they used to always, West of Scotland, no, you, it's your paper. They used to give you stuff. As Hearts try to come forward, Rangers leading by a goal to 0. As Hearts come forward in for Barry Mackay, Connor Goldson does well. Calvin Bassey will clear, and it's going to be a goal kick. Alan McGregor straight out there.
A chance spot. That's a chance. That's a really good ball in from Ellis Sims. And if Barry Mackay takes a better touch here, he's getting a shot away. Unusually for Barry Mackay, ball gets away from him.
Heavy rain, Davey. Makes it difficult for the player to control. No, you're not having it. Okay.
Depends who the player is.
What would I know?
Terrific condition. Goldson, to be fair, has actually done all right.
Yes, he's in his face.
He stood up. He stood in his space.
Davey's like, Paul, can you not read a traffic report or something? Who's best at the traffic, Rob or me? Or neither of us? No, it's Chris
Captain
on the
George.
traffic. Captain George. 62 minutes gone. Rangers leading Hearts by 1-0. Celtic winning 4-0 earlier this afternoon at Fir Park, and we'll be on all midweek. Tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, Barry Ferguson will be here. He'll be happy after that win up in Peterhead yesterday, a 1-goal victory for Alloa. Still not clear who's going to win. The Tide Cove Rangers going well there in the first. I see Queen's Park, another draw yesterday with Falkirk. Kenny Miller was with us the other night as well.
Yep.
It's great to get a great ex-Rangers player on the programme. I'm just saying that. I'm laughing. I'm 10 feet away from Craigmore just as well. You could easily hook me from there. Now, Kenny was in good form the other night, and I see the papers everywhere were quoting you, Craig, when you said GVB should bring in a Scottish coach, a Scottish voice beside him.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I don't know what. There was a little bit of a mixed reaction to that, but again, for me, I think for the club, I think it's beneficial.
Who would you have?
The shortlist was Neil McCann, Barry Ferguson, or Kevin Thompson.
Good show. Good shortlist. Good shortlist, isn't it?
Who would you go for? Can you choose between the three?
No. No, I
You're
can't.
too close to Barry.
No, I think they're the three that I think, because they're current as well, Davey. You know, like knowing exactly what's happening from ground to ground play.
Rangers come forward, a chance for Alfredo Morelos, and he scored. Came off the defender. He was there in the right spot at the right time. 63 minutes gone. Alfredo Morelos, second goal of the afternoon. Rangers on course for all 3 points.
That's a massive goal in the end, because they haven't started this second half. It has been stop-start. Hearts have looked dangerous. Morelos, he just gets a chance on his left foot from the edge of the box. I tell you what, it's a fantastic strike. Just feeds it into the far corner. But at this stage, second goal, putting Rangers ahead. Huge goal. Gets a little bit of luck. But Craig Gordon, no chance.
That's a brilliant finish. He actually tried to play Scott Arfield, and the ball came back off the Hearts player onto his left side. Scored the first goal with his right foot. I was talking about, right foot's his strongest foot, but that's some finish on his left side. He's just started at a yard outside Craig Gordon's right-hand post and managed to bend it in. It's a fabulous finish.
He played the ball off off Kingsley, didn't he? And
1-2. 1-2 with the Hearts player. Huh?
Look at that. I mean, you did say he's got you identified him, both of you, pre-match. Now is the time for him. And Craig, he stood up and he's been counted.
Yeah, again, he was the one player that you definitely knew was going to come in terms of the striking side of things, and two very big goals. This second one, really big goal, because
that's the one. That's the one.
That's a big goal. Hearts were looking lively in that second half, weren't
they?
they?
Were. They fancied it. Not now. That's a vital one. The second one.
And the Rangers fans are jumping, or bouncing, aren't
I think
they?
you'll see Ramsey now.
There you go.
I think you'll see Ramsey now.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you on Ramsey watch, Davey?
Yeah, I'm on Ramsey watch.
Davey's on Ramsey. Is that Ramsey Street? Oh, that would be Craig. As Rangers come forward looking for goal number 3. And is that John Lundstrom forward for Rangers? They could possibly enjoy it now, Craig. We just said it 5 minutes ago. It's nail-biting for Rangers fans. Now, maybe the players can relax and play the game they want to play.
Well, hopefully now you'd like to think that maybe there is a little bit more freedom in their play. I mean, Ramsey you touched on, and David will be all over Ramsey watch, and then that momentum, hopefully the positivity for the supporters. But go on and get a third or fourth goal.
Rangers are 2 up.
The Go Radio Football Show with thetaxicentre.com. Don't miss out on huge savings on your new taxi. Available exclusively to the taxi trade.
Let's go!
Rangers leading by 2-0 against Hearts with 68 minutes gone, and Davy Provan, that could have been a hat-trick for Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, he's too strong here for the Hearts centre-back. Hearts centre-back actually bounces off Morelos. Craig Gordon makes a save. It comes back to him, and Morelos can't find the target from a tight angle. Ryan Jack now being withdrawn, and it's going to be Kamara coming on his place.
You are on Aaron Ramsey watch, but it's not. It's Glenn Kamara, and that's who you had predicted would come on. So why is this? Just to rest him.
Ramsey watch for a little bit later. No, I just felt, look, Kamara, obviously, he's got the minutes under his belt. He's been playing regular football. I think Jack, for the little amount that he has played, he's got through 60, 70 minutes today. Kamara can come on now and try and control the game. As Hearts just have a chance, and McGregor has to make a save.
Spills it though in the rain.
Lundstrom clears it out. Yeah, so I just think that Kamara's just come in just to steady things there, and we might see Ramsey for the last 10 minutes, but that's a guess.
Why wouldn't you give Ramsey half an hour? When you go 2-0 up, why wouldn't you get Ramsey on then, given that you need to get him up to speed?
Yeah,
You're paying him 40 grand a week or whatever.
yeah.
Why?
Because I still think that although it's 2-0, there's still he'll feel
Right.
that there's still a bit to go in this game before he feels comfortable and take that chance. That's why I believe it'll probably be 10 minutes.
As Hearts come forward, then they are trying to stay in the game, because if Rangers get a third, as they almost did a minute ago, and that was a chance there, but Alan McGregor quick off his line and he has collected. So 2-0 Rangers. I can tell you Nottingham Forest, I think they're on the way out of the cup. Nottingham Forest are 4-1 up in Leicester. The holders, Davy, look as though they'll be going out.
Well, the one thing, I mean, Notts Forest, they'll take a cup run, of course they will, but it would be great to see them back in the Premier League. They've been out of that league for so long now, double European Cup winners. They belong in the Premier League for me, huge club.
Yep. Celtic 4-0 winners earlier. We'll hear a moment from Ange Postecoglou in a second or two, but the ball is still in play. It's Rangers trying to do something down that far side, and they win a throw-in. In fact, no, it's going to be a throw-in for Hearts. A quick word from Ange Postecoglou about the game.
Yeah, it's not an easy place to come with the conditions as well, and their home form's really good. And I guess after Wednesday night, people were kind of probably looking at us see what sort of performance we put on. So credit to the players. Started the game well. We were really strong and took our goals well and dominated the game.
And on Tom Rogic?
Yeah, it's not about deserving your place. It's about consistently playing the best football you can. And Tommy's been outstanding for us this year. Every time he's played, he's done awfully well for us. And that's what we want. We want him to continue and keep getting better and keep being the player we know he can be. And he's exciting. I thought he had some chance to get a hat trick today, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have done any other time in his career. So, but I thought overall his general play was good.
And he talked, as you're missing no play, Hearts are going to make a couple of substitutions. Rangers still 2 up. One more from Ange Postecoglou about Motherwell and their high press.
I mean, it's part of the process for us. If teams want to press us, that's fine. And what we do know is they're going to use a lot of energy, and if we can play through that eventually they'll tire, and the spaces will open up for us. So again, I thought it's not an easy place to come and sort of play that kind of football.
But they've taken the points as Rangers go for goal number 3, and it is goal number 3 for Rangers. He came on as a sub 2 minutes ago. Glenn Kamara, all smiles. 71 minutes, Craig. It's Rangers 3, Hearts 0.
Yeah, he gets released and he's clear on goal. He's still got a little bit of work to do, but I've got to say he shows great composure, takes his time and picks his spot to put Rangers 3-0 up, and a great impact. But as you can see here, he's working away. So Rebo plays a great ball through. Was he offside? No,
Atkinson
he's not.
playing him on, isn't he? Is Atkinson
right fullback
first?
plays him on. But here he does brilliant here. Great composure. Gordon goes the wrong way. Kamara slots at 3-0.
Davy?
Well, he's got a pass on, but he's cool enough to take it back onto his right side, lose the Hearts defender, and he's just passed it past Craig Gordon. Game over at long last for Rangers. It was all about the result today, but I think overall Giovanni Van Bronckhorst would be pleasantly surprised with the performance as well.
Celtic 60 points. Rangers, Craig, I think we can put them in 59 now.
Yes, you can.
With 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Davy Provan is on Aaron Ramsey watch. People around the world are listening to hear when he comes on. But it's a massive win for Rangers this afternoon. They've answered the questions today. I'm not talking about Wednesday night, but
today they had to go and get 3 points today. They got the positive start. Second half didn't maybe start off the way that they would have liked, but they've managed to go on and get the 2 goals. 3-0, very comfortable now. 3 points, the most important thing.
It is, Davy, isn't it? Hey, it's going to be some title race.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, I said earlier in the season when Celtic were 7 behind that it would be better for the league if it was closer, and it couldn't be much closer. It's going to be a terrific run-in.
Hearts making changes, coming off Atkinson, Beningame and Devlin, coming on Haring, Giannelli and Woodburn.
Why no Ramsey? 3-0, 18 minutes left. Why don't you give him the last 18 minutes, Craig?
Craig, and you are responsible for answering.
Yeah, maybe he wants to give him 15, or maybe he wants to give him 10. I don't know, but he's definitely got to come on.
Well, if not, there'll be major questions.
Yeah.
Surely he'll come on.
You would like
and the fans, a home game. I know they've got the home game, haven't they, on Wednesday with Hibs, as Balogun there caught out chance here for Hearts, but he blasts it way over the top. That was a slip up there. It was a real chance for Josh Giannelli with his first touch of the afternoon to score, but he blasted it over. And Davy Provan on watch.
Here's Aaron.
There he is. He's just putting on the Rangers top for the first time in earnest. GVB gives him some instructions. There he is, the former Arsenal. Juventus, he's on loan, and he's the Welsh international, but the ball's still in play, so he won't come on immediately. As that's Scott Arfield, who could well be replaced by Aaron Ramsey. He touches it to Ryan Kent. He's got a chance. Is he offside? But what a great chance for him to score. Should score, and he does, unless there's an offside.
Yeah, I would have thought that he was offside, but it looks as if it's been given as a goal.
It is. Well, I think we all thought there that it was going to be. He does the salute that he does. It's 4-0 Rangers, and Scott Arfield.
I don't think he is offside. You know, he plays the ball, continues his run.
Oh.
He's on, yeah. Played onside by one of the Hearts centre backs. Gets the rebound from Craig Gordon. I think Hearts might have been saying that Morelos is in Craig Gordon's line of sight.
No chance.
I don't think so. And this turning into a very good afternoon for Rangers now.
That's why you've done it for so many years live on Sky, Davey. You spotted that because it's he was onside. Scott Arfield, just as we said, he may well be replaced by Aaron Ramsey. He's got himself in the score sheet and a significant scoreline, 4-0.
Now it looks very convincing, doesn't it? And still Ramsey watched to come on, but that was a great ball from Kent.
Yeah,
the skies pass.
Kent's been brilliant today. Terrific.
Man of the match, I think that is Arfield going off, and is that Joe Aribo as well? It is Fashion Sakala, and Joe Aribo there just shakes hands with Aaron Ramsey, and Craig Moore, he's on the pitch.
He'd be delighted. He'd be delighted to get 10, 15 minutes. He'll be looking to try and get as many touches on the ball as he possibly can. The Rangers supporters will be absolutely delighted to see him out there.
Davey?
Yeah, I mean, I think had Rangers been 3 up or 4 up at half time, he'd have had more game time. They've got to try and get some game time into his legs. That's the problem. And the only way he's going to get that is out there on the pitch. You can do so much training. I don't think you can get match fit on the training ground. You've really got to play. This was an awkward one in terms of getting him on the pitch, though, because as Craig said, at 2-0, Hearts score, it's game on again. So they've got the chance. It's just a pity he's had so little of the game left.
As Fashion Sakala, who looked lively against Celtic, comes forward down the right. Hearts are trailing by 4-0 against the defending champions Rangers. Rangers will finish the day just 1 point behind their oldest rivals Celtic, who had a 4-goal win. So it's 8-0 for the Old Firm at the moment against opposition. Celtic winning 4-0 at Fir Park. And Rangers trying to come down the right. We'll hear from the manager tomorrow evening on the programme at 5. We'll hear from GVB and we'll hear more from Ange Postecoglou. It's been a good afternoon's business. Live on Sky and live here on the Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Just on Aaron Ramsey watch to see his early touches for Rangers, Craig.
Yeah, he had a touch there, Dave. Neat and tidy, didn't he? Just kept possession. But again, that you see the areas that he's looking to take. He's desperate to get on the ball there. Complaining, not getting it.
Yeah, screaming for the ball. Yeah.
And where are we going to see him, Craig, for those not watching? Is he in the heart of the engine room?
Yeah, he's just sitting behind 10, 15 metres in the central area, just behind Morelos. Right. That's the area that he likes. He likes to combine with a front man and make those forward runs, but it's from a central area.
It's his first taste of the Cinch Premiership, and it's a good afternoon's business. And the Rangers needed it after the 3-goal demolition, which it was at Celtic Park. And here's an old Rangers favourite coming on. Andy Halliday is coming on for Liam Boyce for Hearts. And as you mentioned earlier, Andy Halliday's been scoring goals recently. Attention now does turn to midweek, doesn't it, Davy? Rangers, Hebs, Aberdeen, Celtic.
Well, you'd say Celtic have the trickier game because they're away from home. And Aberdeen are desperate for a result.
Wounded animal.
Yeah, so it could be tricky. Listen, if Celtic approach it the way they did today, Celtic will win, but you're never quite sure going to Pittodrie. It's never a gimme up there. Scott
Brown was on the bench yesterday. He didn't appear, I don't think, did he? He was standing there almost coach-like, wasn't he? Just
he could be the new coach.
Well, indeed.
The way things are going.
I nearly said earlier, and we hate to do that, but my mind for the first time thought, who would replace Stephen Glass? And we hate to do that, but when you did say
Dave Cormack is not doing his job unless he's thinking about a plan B. He has to think,
Do you think it would be Scott Brown?
I don't know. It'd certainly be in the frame. Otherwise, why take him to the club and give him a coaching job unless you see him as a long-term possibility?
And would have that been Dave that give him that role, or would have that been what Stephen Glass was looking to bring?
Good question. I think it's Dave Cormack's baby. I think he makes most of the big calls, Craig.
And they probably, you could imagine at Atlanta, they were talking about it and saying, right, okay, you come as manager, we bring Scott Brown. You're like, what? And Stephen Glass says, yeah, I worked with him, and we could bring him to the club, because it amazed people. Celtic fans were like, whoa, why is he going? He could have brought something else to the club. Although, with hindsight, you can see now that Callum McGregor, it's been great for him. He had a brilliant relationship with Scott Brown. Scott Brown, one of the great Celtic captains. But, what else can you do? You've won 4 trebles in a row.
And with Scott Brown, he kind of left a little bit early in terms of, because he didn't really know what was happening at the football club, did he? So imagine if he even stayed at Celtic. Huh? Would have he suited to the style in terms of the way that Ange wants to play? Because it's legs.
Yeah, I think Scott Brown's. Yeah, I think Celtic had the very best of them.
Craig, corner kick for Hearts into the box, a chance for them, but Rangers defend well, and the goal is going to be played away. Davey, it was 4 in a row, wasn't it, for Celtic? I'm not being. When you think about it, you know that there's so much last year about they missed the chance of 10, and we did say in time, people look back and go, they won the treble 4 years running.
Yeah, quadruple treble.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I would argue that the run they had in the cups was more surprising than winning all the leagues, because Celtic had more money than anyone else. No real surprise that they won the league every year, but to the record that they put together in the cups was astonishing, because you can always lose a cup tie.
Sure. As Leicester are this afternoon, 4-1 they're down. And I wasn't being funny, honestly. I wasn't saying, was it 4, was it 3? You think, was that 4 trebles?
But the cups can be harder, as David touched on, because there's a couple of kind of results, especially in the cup, where you Rangers should have gone on and maybe won a trophy or two.
Should have.
An extra trophy or two. But they haven't done it, so it's not easy to do it.
And Stephen Gerrard knew that last season, didn't he? He was privately hurting that he didn't take one of the cups.
Missed opportunities,
especially when St Johnstone, no disrespect to them, but a provincial club with a budget, a 10th of Rangers or whatever. I don't know exactly, but picked up both cups.
You can thank Barry Mackay for the quadruple treble, because Barry Mackay scores against Ronnie Dyler's side in the semi-final at Hampden.
Yeah.
Rangers directors celebrate. Dermot Desmond hears them celebrating, pushes the boat out to get Brendan Rodgers in, and the rest is history.
Absolutely true. As Rangers come forward, and it's gone down in the box, but the referee says no. Craig, you were on penalty watch there.
I don't think it's a penalty, and I'm hoping that if Bassi is not looking for it, because he's on a yellow card, isn't he?
Oh, he's down like Shirley Bassi.
He has actually.
But he's on a yellow card there.
No, that was silly, wasn't it? At 4 up, get
a second yellow there for diving.
He's trying to buy it, isn't he? He's trying to buy it.
Yeah. Sure. Where were we before that? But you're absolutely right. Dermot Desmond said, wait a minute, this was it was the cup semi-final. He was not happy. And then as we see Diallo about to come on, and I think Davy Moyes was also in the frame of that. They were determined to get a top-class manager, and Brendan Rodgers, the rest is history. And Davy, Stephen Davis coming on as well.
Stephen
for
Davis.
Rangers. That's good news.
Probably in his last season. Still a very important player, I think, for Rangers, Stephen Davis. One of these players who makes the game look easy. It's anything but, particularly where he plays in the deeper part of midfield where you can't afford to lose it. Here's Diallo. He'll want to get the Celtic performance out of his system as well, the youngster.
Because he did well in his first game. You could see his class as Rangers come forward. Morella's looking for his third. Takes a deflection, Craig.
Yeah, no, he's trying to work it, get onto his right foot. Defended well enough, deflected over the bar, but he'd be desperate to try and get a hat-trick.
Yep.
That's for sure. Diallo, you're right, will be trying to come, because he was very quiet in the Old Firm match. Very, very quiet.
Wasn't he?
Didn't get a chance to get into the game. Actually looked like a little boy.
Yeah.
So he's got an opportunity to go on and show what he's got last 10 minutes.
So corner kick for Rangers. James Tavernier, the captain, the title-winning captain last season for Rangers, right-footed, takes that little shimmy, plays it into the box, but it's cleared by Hearts. Just 7 minutes remaining. Aaron Ramsey is on the field of play as the ball's played all the way back to Alan McGregor. 40 this week. Your old teammate.
Biggsy, he's been a fantastic goalkeeper, hasn't he? I mean, uncharacteristically, had a couple of mistakes recently, but main part, he's been enormous. He's a big shot stopper, big moments for Rangers.
Last season, Craig? This is last season at Ibrox?
I think so, yeah. I don't imagine he'll go around again next season.
Not even get 1 year? No?
Don't think so. As Rangers come forward, Kent in A good chance for Sakala. He gets it. Goal number 5 for Rangers. 84 minutes gone. Fashion Sakala. He's loving it, isn't he? It's Rangers 5, Hearts 0.
He's giving it the Morelos, pointing to the ground with both his index fingers there. Just an impersonation of the Colombian. But I'll tell you, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about Kyogo, who plays with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
This boy Sakala's the same. You know, we can see the joy he gets from scoring. Did the same at Love Street earlier this season when he scored with a header. Obviously, just loves to score. Well set up. Kent has been brilliant this afternoon.
Absolutely.
On either side of the pitch.
Craig?
It's actually a good finish because you're thinking he's going to take
Yeah.
that first time. Fashion Sakala. Ken does ever so well, but in the end, it's a cheeky toe
Yeah.
poke. And it's a strange finish, but a good one. And yeah, he has a little bit of fun with the whole Morelos kind of celebrations when he scored. But good to see for Fashion Sakala because he's been unlucky to be left out because
Yep.
he has been a positive in the last couple of games.
What
for
is he?
Rangers.
Is he through the middle or is he wide? What is he?
I think he's through the middle there. I think he's
He's
through
not
the
going to
middle.
get in there, though, is he?
Then you understand that he's not going to play. Morelos will play, but he does do, I think, some good things also in the wider areas, but maybe centrally.
Would you put him ahead of Roof now? I think you would, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
He's moved up the batting order, hasn't he? For
Up the
sure.
batting order, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And at the
has.
moment, by the way, the goal difference between Celtic and Rangers has been cut from 14 to 9.
Yeah, I still
So-
don't think it'll be decided on goals.
No?
No.
Davey, you're
It's
watching
happened
this.
before, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's happened before.
Yeah. But sometimes you just got to be bold, like and go for it and say, I'm going, nah, it's not going to go to goals.
Yeah.
I was just trying to
There's
work
going to be
it.
a winner
Yeah, you reckon?
by
Yeah.
points.
But that could be. It doesn't do them any harm. Rangers 5, Hearts 0. That's resounding. Motherwell 0, Celtic 4. So it's been quite an afternoon. We did say we were looking forward to it today. And,
How strange
yeah.
is football, Paul? Like,
Yep.
Celtic 4-0, convincing 4-0, in control from the first moment. Rangers got off to a good start.
Yep.
And then stuttered a little bit like that. Hearts had some good openings at 1-0 in the second half, and now 5-0. You go, it's an easy game.
Cameras there were on John Lundstrom. What's he thinking? Do you reckon? That's just a question. How did he play today? That's my
Yeah,
my
no,
question.
I think
to you.
Lundstrom has done well in the game. He's done his job.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. You come in, you get minutes. You want to be in a winning team, and that's what he's managed to do.
David, you saw a lot of him, a fair bit in England in the Premier League 3 years ago.
Yeah, but as Craig suggested earlier, at that time he was box to box.
Yes.
He and John Fleck had a bit of licence to go forward. Norwood sat for them. I don't think Rangers have seen the best out of Lundstrom. I think he's a proper player. And ironically enough, I think he was playing some of his best stuff when he started getting left out of the side.
Goals by subs, we're getting all the stats. Rangers 10 goals by subs, and they're far ahead of Dundee United and the rest. So there's still plus injury time. There's actually only 3 minutes, but there'll be another 4 or 5 minutes added.
You would think so.
I think so. Yeah. Quick break, and then we're back. You'll miss nothing.
The Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Save on your new taxi with exclusive discounts across Skoda, Toyota, Ford, Seat and more.
Let's go.
Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Rangers 5, Hearts 0 into the 90th minute. You missed nothing there in the last few seconds. And what a win this is for Rangers this afternoon. Replying in the best possible way from their point of view to Celtic's resounding 4-goal victory at Fir Park. And what a comeback, bounce back ability they talked about after being beaten comprehensively by Celtic on Wednesday night 3-0. Just looking to see how many minutes are added. 3 minutes to be added to the game. And Davey, this afternoon, so no change at the top apart from one goal difference.
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't sure what you would see from Rangers today. I thought they might be fragile after Celtic Park. Thought they might have been under pressure playing at home. But they've answered all the questions. Thanks to Morelos and Ryan Kent, the two big players, the two game changers today. And they will need the two of them at their very best in the running.
The fans will have enjoyed it, and they'd have been with them because they started well. Not the first 5 minutes, but they did then. They're a different team from Wednesday night.
Yeah, very much so. Again, Davey's spot on. I think Morelos has been a huge performer today to come and to get his goals. Kent has been influential, been really good in the wider areas. So, it at one stage never looked as if it could ever be 5-0 because Hearts were in there. A couple of chances in the second half, early doors, but comfortable now in the end for Rangers. Got their players on, their substitutes, no injuries. So, good afternoon and good response from Rangers.
Man of the match. Moore's man of the match.
I've got to go with Morelos.
Yeah.
Clearly because he's got the goals, and he's the one that made the difference for me in this game.
Province pick.
Yeah, Morelos. Yeah. I mean, Ryan Kent has been terrific, and I've always enjoyed watching proper wide players when they're at their best. He's been at his best today, but Morelos was the real difference.
He certainly was. So for Rangers, the goals coming, well, in 11 minutes, Alfredo Morelos, he scored his second in 63 minutes. Kamara in 71. Scott Arfield in 75. And then Fashion Sakala came on as a sub and he scored in 84 minutes. We've got just over a minute left in the game. Some of the fans have gone, as we can just see round Ibrox there. Huge crowd this afternoon. Craig, you're going along on Wednesday night with the game against Hibs. That could be... Well, they're going really positive, expecting 3 points.
Yeah, again, this is obviously a good confidence builder. Yeah, after probably being rocked a little bit, but Wednesday night home game against Hibs. Hibs haven't been unbelievable, let's be honest, but they'll certainly look to try and provide Rangers a test. But a positive start is exactly what will be needed again to go and get the 3 points.
You're being modest. They rocked a little bit. They were rocked a big bit, weren't they? The whole club was.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I mean, like, come on, you've been on for 5 hours. I'm not having a go. But, I mean, because this is a massive turnaround today. It's not Celtic. Of course it's not. But Hearts, the third force at the moment, who've done damage. They beat Celtic, for example, on the opening day of the season, Davy. So it's a significant win for the champions.
Yeah. I mean, this is a reality check for Hearts. Talking about going to give Rangers a really good game today, and you get this all the time. At the risk of repeating myself, the two Edinburgh clubs really, they've got to have a good look at themselves.
Go on, Davy, don't stop. This is Glasgow's own here.
They are. They're an embarrassment to our capital city, I'm afraid.
Whistle's gone. Craig Moore, 5-0.
Look, you talk about responding, going and getting 3 points, and scoring goals, and Rangers managed to do all of those things. Morelos come back after lack of international football. For me, man of the match, couple of goals. Good afternoon for Rangers, 5-0, very happy.
And as you said, Davy, 60 points to Celtic, 59 for Rangers. Celtic were plus 41 after their victory. Rangers now plus 32. So that's significant if it comes to that later in the season. If there's such a thing as a neutral, this is one.
You'd always keep in mind, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You and I are veterans of some of the photo finishes.
Absolutely.
We've seen where it does come down to goal difference. That famous day, Celtic at Rugby Park, Rangers at home to Dunfermline. It could happen.
Absolutely.
Man United, Man City, the Aguero moment, it can happen.
I was involved in one of them, but it's just I just don't get that feeling. I don't get that feeling, but you're right. Anything is possible in football, no doubt about it.
How does Glenn Kamara feel today? He's dropped today, but he's come back on and scored. Is this the kind of boot that some of them needed? I'm not just saying it, Glenn Kamara.
Why not?
But
Why not? They massively underperformed. So, sometimes you're left out, but you know what? He's come on. He doesn't score enough goals, in my opinion. But to come on and to get that goal, and more about the composure I think he showed with his goal, Kamara. So well done.
We didn't see really anything of Aaron Ramsey, did we? Davey made a good point. Why did he only come on? It was 15 minutes to go, plus 3 minutes of injury time. So it wouldn't have done him any harm. But did you see anything, Craig?
He got 5 minutes longer than what I thought he was going to get. I thought he was going to come on for the last 10 minutes, just with the way, because the game still hung in the balance there for a little bit. That's why I think Kamara come on, and I just felt that he was always going to get the 10 minutes.
I guess the question I'm asking, Craig, is why would you? I don't know what Rangers' percentage of the wages they're paying. It'll be a lot of money. Why would you pay a lot of money for a player who you don't think is ready to go in and play?
Yeah, because the only answer I can give you, Davey, is I think that he's not at the level, so they're just feeling that introducing him to 10 or 15 minutes and have 13 or 12 full games, rather than take a chance or risk getting an injury.
Just looking, and there's a point to this, Dortmund 2, Leverkusen 5 scoreline there. Barcelona 4, Atletico 2. Suarez, one of the scorers there. Dani Alves went off. He scored and then he went off early on. And of course, European action will be back with us soon. So Rangers Dortmund is only, 12 days away?
Big game. Big game.
Indeed. Yeah. Looking forward to that. We'll bring you the full time. Was that the full time at Forest against Leicester? We'll give you.
Joe Worrell scored, former Rangers player, scored for Forest against Leicester today. That's a sore one for Brendan Rodgers. I know that obviously the Premier League's the most important down there, but that's bordering on embarrassing. Playing a team in the division below you and getting spanked 4-1.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. In the Eredivisie, Ajax a 3-goal victory for them. But the big news here in Scotland is that, in fact, Leicester, the holders, are out of the cup. It's finished up. Nottingham Forest 4, Leicester City 1. We don't exactly know the team that he played, but anyway, more importantly, he had not a good one there for Leicester City. Here in Scotland, it's been a fascinating day, hasn't it, Craig? So the two of them are going for it now, no question.
Yeah, anybody that wanted a title race, that's exactly what they've got this season. I think, both teams. The momentum is with Celtic. They've had a strong performance today and a good win. Rangers have responded, but title race, game on.
And we did say earlier on, for Rangers going into this game, they would know the Celtic scoreline 4-0 at Fir Park and think, well, gulp. But Rangers, they stood up. What do you think of them today?
Well, they did. I mean, I said earlier on, did they bottle it at Celtic Park? They didn't bottle it today. You could argue they were under every bit as much pressure today. This was a game they couldn't afford to lose anything in terms of points this afternoon. And they've got the job done. And Giovanni van Bronckhorst will be absolutely delighted because it doesn't just take the pressure off his players, it takes the pressure off him.
It certainly does.
Yep. Let's hear from Ange Postecoglou from the win earlier on. He spoke about the mentality of his squad after winning on Wednesday night.
Not really, because it's just not in my control. I mean, it doesn't, like I said, for me, what's most important is what I see from our team, and that's always going to be the driving force, because they're the things we can control, and our course will be charted by what we do. And from my perspective, today was about making sure that we had a strong performance, recovered well from Wednesday night, because it was a physically taxing game, and got the job done.
He's got the depth of squad. Does he feel he has?
It's only been the last couple of days I've had that squad, to be fair. So, I hope people aren't thinking I've got it easy all of a sudden. No, look, it's why we wanted to build a squad. Unfortunately, we just haven't had them at our disposal so far. So, pleasing we're getting some back, and, we'll get hopefully another couple back over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And we're going to need it, because what we want to do is maintain the levels of performance that we've had so far and improve it. And we can't do that with just one set of players.
Liel Abada scored the opener for Celtic in 28 minutes and 2 from Tom Rogic, 31 minutes, and right on half-time, 3-0 at half-time, and then Maeda scored in the second half, 4-0. And Craig, it could have been more for Celtic.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing today from Celtic, if I'm honest. But they'll be very, very pleased with that. It's 3 points, 4 goals, and they'll be looking, as Anne says, to continue to improve.
Davey, well, you can't not be happy, can you? Come away 4-0 from Motherwell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's always an element of anticlimax after an Old Firm game that you've won. And Celtic were very, very professional today, never in any danger. Started the game well, and they kept it up for the 90 minutes.
Is that right? There can be I suppose it's true, because it's such a huge game. It's the match of the week in Britain. It's the biggest game.
It takes so much out of you mentally as well, that game, not just physically, but I think mentally it takes a lot out of you, and you can be a bit flat going into the next one if it's. I mean, Motherwell's not the most glamorous place to go, but Celtic were right on it today.
It's funny you say that, though. See, in terms of the Rangers, I mean, other teams that play against Rangers or Celtic, the game after, how much it takes out of them, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Well, how often do you say that? You said it when Hibs, beat Rangers. You said they'll go up to Ross County and
lose, and
that's
did.
what happened. And it happens as well with Celtic. So it was Celtic's afternoon, or Celtic's lunchtime, and it was Rangers the afternoon for them. 5-0 against Hearts. Morella's in 11 minutes. Alfredo again in 63 minutes. So when you look back on it, Craig, it was 1-0 for quite a long time, 63 minutes. Then Glenn Kamara came on, scored almost with his first touch. And then Scott Arfield in 75 minutes with his last touch. On came Aaron Ramsey. It was only 15 minutes to go, but it was Fashion Sakala who scored. 5-0 Rangers. Final thoughts of the day from you?
Yeah, look, I mean, in the end, Rangers had to respond. They had to get 3 points. They managed to do that. 5-0, I think it was probably flatters them a little bit, although it did blow out towards the end there. Morelos, a couple of goals. Nice to see him back. Good afternoon's business.
In England, I should say, Tielemans played, Maddison played, Needy played, Barnes played. So, just for the interest of completeness, I think we've brought you right up to date. Craig, you'll join us during the week.
Love to.
Look forward to seeing you. You too, Davey.
See you Wednesday, Paul. Yep.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to Stuart and everyone who was on the socials this afternoon. We're looking forward to tomorrow evening. Barry Ferguson and Mark Woody here, live at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show with the Taxi Centre. Visit their showroom in Darnley, Glasgow to test drive your new taxi.
Let's go.
Where do taxi drivers go when they need to buy a taxi? Well, the Taxi Centre have supplied cars to the trade for over 20 years, and they stock a huge range of motors from the world's leading manufacturers: Skoda, Kia, Toyota, Mercedes, Nissan, Ford, Hyundai, you name it. They've got saloons, MPVs, estates, minibuses, prestige cars, the lot, all under one roof, ready for immediate collection or free delivery anywhere on the mainland UK. With taxi trade exclusive discounts, flexible finance options and no hidden fees. They even throw in registration and 12 months road tax. So if you're a taxi driver who needs a new or used taxi, where would you go? TheTaxiCentre.com. Trade only.